Welcome, my friends. Hope you guys are all doing well. We're back with qualifier number 3 of ECL Season 6. It's time. Let us mess around no longer. So on the top side of the bracket, today's tournament, of course, had over 90 people sign up. I think in total we had 95 sign up. But of course, after check-ins, it was a little bit less, but pretty big tournament for sure. So on the top side of the bracket, we have Ice Power Total War facing off against Gobbo Slayer. And on the bottom, we have Call Harmon facing off. And Call Harmon, of course, just got to the grand finals of the faction war with his Lizardmen, I believe. And did lose to Anticity, but it was certainly a very, very good match. But he's going to be facing off against either ODM Imperator or ODM Anticity, who, of course, are playing their matches right now. So, man, oh man, we got some serious high-level competition here today. Now, as far as anyone who's not familiar with the ECL format, it's an 8-week season. It doesn't always take place over 8 weeks, but generally it's 8 qualifiers. The individual who wins each qualifier then goes on to the top 8 and earns a spot for the grand finals, which essentially is like an ever-chosen style tournament, 1 day, 8 players. Pretty serious business for sure. The best of the best, to say the least. So we do have Falcon and Alfredinho. They've already qualified for the grand finals, so they're sitting atop their thrones of skulls, and unfortunately they can't just play over and over in ECL, because if they won, it would kind of screw things up. Although I've considered maybe letting them play again in the ECLs just to practice, and then if they end up winning it, it just goes to the second place player. But I'm not sure. We'll dwell on that. How you guys doing? Hell to the yeah, man. So we're going to be getting our first match started. The players are currently picking their armies, so let's go ahead and load over to that bad boy right here. It's going to be Ice Power Total War against Gobbo Slayer in a best of 3. The first match of the day is going to be Ice Power Total War on the Druki facing off against Gobbo Slayer on the Skaven. Now, for the picks and bans, we, of course, did have Ice Power picking the Dark Elves, and he is one of the few Dark Elf mains out there, and he banned Bretonnia and Wood Elves, and, of course, was then counterpicked. Not necessarily, I mean, just his opponent then picked Skaven against him. Skaven are obviously one of the best factions out there, easily a top 2 faction in my opinion, so this should be quite interesting to see. Yes, the ODM Civil War, it's very common. ODM has a ton of top-level players. Like, it's very common that they run into each other in the finals with tournaments and things like that. So I guess Falcon's on vacation. Dude, the Dark Lord Falcon, yes, he's I'm sure he's playing Valheim. That's his vacation right now, and we'll be seeing him in the grand finals. And I'm sure he's playing in other tournaments to kind of keep things sharp and all that sort of good stuff. So first match is loading in. Thanks again for joining, guys. This is the ECL. If you guys are new to the channel, it's kind of the Premier League format we do have here, and it's been great. We've had a handful of seasons, man. Protocol, thank you for the donation. Really appreciate that. Send your good vibes to Texas. It's not a great situation here. A little tourney will warm the soul. Yeah, it's pretty insane. Like, there's like massive power outages, and it's also it's cold, so there's just like compounding the issues. And yeah, for anyone out in Texas, man, hope you guys are staying safe. I actually have some family in Texas as well. My dad's side of the family are all like East Coast, like kind of New York City, like Boston Italians. And then my mom's side is generally comes from like Texas and Central California. So I have a fair amount of family in Texas. It's pretty wild. It's insane. So I hope you guys are staying safe and warm. And yeah, we'll do our best if you got the power to watch this to entertain you. So yeah, certainly quite a bit of fun to see Dark Elves represented. You don't see them terribly often, but obviously Marathi and Manticores can be very scary. Now, for the Army of Ice Power Total War, that's exactly what we get. So interestingly enough, Ice Power Total War, if you guys just saw the group tournament we're doing, the Legendary Lords tournament, Marathi is being played by Ice Power. So we just got to see kind of a sample of his play. So here he is with Soul Stealer and the Wand of Paridon here. We do also have Double Feral Manticore, very good for sniping Skaven characters and gooning. And Dark Elves are all about that. They certainly have a good time. Blob up the Skaven, catch him in a Soul Stealer, get the terror routes, live long and prosper. Now for the front battle line, going to be Bleak Swords into the Sunset. Looks like Bleak Swords and Spears on the flanks. Scourge Runners teamed up with Dark Riders. Dark Riders, of course, very cost effective here, just cheap. They can chase down Skaven stuff. You know, if you break some Rat Ogres, chase them off the battlefield, need to shut down some weapons teams, hey, you got Dark Riders for it too. And that appears to be the Druki army overall. Pretty solid stuff. Certainly quite good. And now for the Gobbo Slayer, aka Dr. Nick, coming in with the double Jezzail, double Poison Wind Mortar? No, single Poison Wind Mortar. So yeah, Jezzail's quite good at sniping Manticores, also can counterplay the Scourge Runners. The Mortars pretty much just kill everything else that the Jezzails don't deal with, which is quite scary indeed. We do have Lord Skrolk, man. I feel like it's been quite a hot minute since we've seen Skrolk Daddy. A little bit susceptible to being sniped, but this little nasty rat does pack a punch with his lever. Over here we do have the Warlock Engineer with the Mortis Engine effect on his armor and the Howling Warp Gale to slow down the Air Force. Howling Warp Gales probably will be a very serious factor as it pertains to winning the game here for the Skaven, getting them off onto the Manticores and the Marathi and all that. A couple Spears and Ogres, an Assassin to the back, and that is it on top of the dreaded Hell Pit Abomination. The rats are here, guys. Let us know. Who do you think's going to win? Are you rooting for the Druchii? I'm sure there's a lot of Dark Elf fans in chat. They're certainly quite... they've been having a rough run, Dark Elves, in the metagame. A lot of people kind of stopped playing them, but it's cool to see Ice Power getting to the top 4 of a very competitive tournament and whipping out his Dark Elves as the first pick. He didn't counterpick with them. He put him out there, bravely as his first pick, and his opponent, picked one of the stronger factions against him. So it should be quite a bit of fun. How's it going, Ben the Barman? So Liber One Shoticus, as it's often called, is basically like a Spirit Leech on steroids. Lord Skrull does also have the Rod of Corruption, which is free AoE damage, basically. It's kind of like it's like a Web of Shadows and just does AoE damage. It's better against higher model counts. You guys get the picture. It's basically steroided Spirit Leech is the best way to put it. Yes, so Warlock Engineers do have a Mortis Engine effect. It's called the Warp Shard Armor. It's you don't see it as often due to the prevalence of Plague Furnaces, but it's still very cheap and quite cost effective. If I'm not mistaken, though, I don't think the Warpstone Armor does quite as much as the Mortis Engine from the Plague Furnace, because I think there are differing levels to that, but it's still quite good. And, honestly, a lot of Druchii will do this. You're going to see Scourge Runners, you're going to see single entities, you're going to be seeing, just cavalry. So basically, the Mortis Engine isn't, as big of a deal here, considering, it's just Bleak Swords and stuff. Yeah, so it should be quite cool. I feel I need to root against someone called Ice Power right now because you're in Texas. Yeah, you're rooting against the ice and snow, huh? All right, Ice Power getting some sweet water. Staying hydrated. The Hydro homies, as we call it. Doing their thing. Yeah, Skrull could definitely get sniped, though, but Jezzails are going to be very nasty. 2 Jezzails focusing down the Manticores initially could be very strong. Forcing them to rampage into bad targets like the Hell Pit Abomination. Then you basically just screen out the Scourge Runners using your Skaven Slaves and the Rat Ogres to basically just kind of absorb their charge and make sure they can't, get in there and run your stuff over. Pretty cool. Does it stack with the Plague Furnace? I don't recall. Yeah, but I think you're only allowed to have 1 Mortis Engine effect in your army, so I don't think it would ever be a factor. Although I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure you can't bring the 2 Mortis Engine effects. I could be wrong, but you can't bring Helm and Gorst in a Mortis Engine. That's against the rules. I'm pretty sure it's just 1. So if Bretonnia had a second Mortis Engine effect, like Fey Enchantress, let's say the Paladin could Mortis Engine, right? You couldn't bring them both, essentially. Tyler Peterson says, I'm in Louisiana, and I share the sentiments of the cold. Well, Ice Power Total War getting that agua. Man, I've been getting into cooking recently. I never cooked my entire life, but I've been having so much fun. I've been just binge watching the Gordon Ramsay shows, and also on Netflix there's this cooking competition, which is really interesting. You get chefs from around the world basically, and they have to cook cuisine from different cultures, and it's really interesting to see how they all adapt. Anyways, back to business. We are here in the Warhammer battle. That's what this stream is about. It's a Warhammer stream. That's what we do here. Warlock Jezzails opening up on the Chariots here. Certainly not a bad choice. Getting some decent damage. The Jezzails, of course, a very, very good counter here with the superior range and, of course, a pretty good stopping power. Ice Power doing a little bit of juking, though, which I certainly appreciate. Now in the backfield, the Dark Riders are threatening into the mortar lines and into the Jezzails as well. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see these Dark Riders go through this seam right here. And right as I say that, man, I'm prophetic. Right as I say that, they charge in, and then the Scourge Runners go in from the front. Now, the Rat Ogres could respond and interrupt, but more or less, these Warplock Jezzails with proper micro should get crumped pretty good here. These Scourge Runners should be pushing through and really starting to hammer. Nice and good, A little bit of a lapse there letting those guys in. But the Clan Rats do collapse, as well as the Ogres. Should be able to maybe save them, but the thing is, if the Scourge Runners had charged in from the front, it could have been a little bit different. Ooh, look at this, a nice Howling Warp Gale going down, but I don't know if there's going to be any follow-up is the thing. So he does use an overcasted Howling Warp Gale, which locks down this Air Force. Now the Jezzails, and I think the Mortars are shooting the Manticores as well, which is quite hilarious. And the Dark Riders do pay the ultimate price, but it shuts down the Jezzails. Jezzails also get caught in a Soul Stealer there, so you can see Marathi in response to the Howling Warp Gale here does get a big juicy Soul Stealer and is able to hit a fair amount of the Skaven army, more importantly breaking the Warplock Jezzails. And from there, the Dark Elves obviously have the mobile advantage. The Scourge Runners should be able to chase them off the battlefield quite happily. Now a big gooning attempt going in as the Scourge Runners do pile into the Warplock Jezzails. Ice Power Total War grabbing the Manticores and going after the Assassin. So that's the thing about Skrull. Often why you're seeing Brood Horrors or Grey Seers is because, especially Brood Horrors, seeing Throughout the Unclean, for example. He could really fight back against this quite well with Creature Killer and the Rat Ogre summons, but we'll see what Skrull can do. Now the little Assassin, Night Runners appear to have taken some damage. Yeah, the Plague Monks and the Assassin have taken a little bit of poke, but the Skaven are responding quite well. You can see the Hell Pit Abomination has come in. The Dread, oh, it's the thing, the fluid injection here going down on top of a Soul Stealer. Shit's just getting hog wild up here in this fight. But the Manticores are rampaging, which is a little bit scary for the Druchii. Marathi is able to get away, but at least the Manticores do have infantry support, and they are rampaging on proper targets like Skrulk as well as the Assassin. Skrulk getting beat up here, and so is the Assassin. Now, if we take a big macro look at the battlefield, Dark Elves, of course, are pretty much chasing down all the scraps. Ice Power Total War seems to be in a little bit more of a commanding position here with his Dark Elf mobile build, right? These Slaanesha's Harvesters and all these Dark Riders really causing quite a few problems, but you can never underestimate these Skaven Death Star. It can get very nasty, and Skrulk and company probably will be able to goon out that Feral Manticore. The other one is on death's bed. So if the Dark Elves have some ranged assets left, do they have Scourge Runners? We have 3 right here, and we do also have 2 right here. That's very, very strong here. And the reason why is because the Scourge Runner Chariots, of course, now that these Skaven Jezzails have been removed, can basically just sit at range and just start dropping some huge, huge shots on top of the big targets here, right? Whether it be the Rat Ogres, the Hellpit Abomination, blob them up for another Soul Stealer. And I think the Druchii are in a very comfortable position. Skaven falling behind to the balance of power here at the 4-minute mark here in the battle. Now the Bleak Sword's chasing off some chaff. The Skaven horde, of course, trying to unify its forces. This is pretty much what many Skaven games do devolve into, is a big nasty Death Star of monsters, Plague Furnaces, Throughout the Unclean, all that sort of good stuff. But the little rat's still going, man. He's a little rat that could. My big concern for the Skaven is the fact that they're in this blob. Though it carries much strength and potential, is also the fact that Marathi can just get a fully erect Soul Stealer on top of this blob. Just balls deep, nailing everything at once, most likely. And that could just straight up end the game. Rat Ogres don't have the best leadership. They've been jokingly called Rout Ogres by many players for a long time. So getting a big surround, and that's pretty much what the Druchii should do. Just use the Scourge Runners, get as much free damage as you can, blob them up, Soul Stealer, mass charge them with the Harvesters and Dark Riders, and you'll most likely just win the game here. So we'll see how this goes. Dreadspear's pulling back. They're currently running away, which is good. You want to buy more time and force this Skaven to be kind of pulled apart a little bit. You can see some of them are chasing, some of them aren't. And right now the Dark Elves are trying to get their picks where they can. But the Skaven blob certainly hurting here. So the Harvester is charging in, going after the Thing. I would imagine they might have some bound spells here, but it looks like there's going to be some witchcraft going down from Marathi. Yeah, we'll see. Skrulk popping his Rod of Corruption, stroking it nice and good like, but it doesn't really hit too much, I don't think. Or no, that's actually a Soul Stealer. Okay. Soul Stealer going down, nailing most of the Skaven blob. It does get the Thing here. Now the Manticore going in after the Assassin. Should be a kill, especially in tandem with the Dark Riders and the Chariot if they decide to goon that target, which is certainly going to be very good. Hellpit Abomination is holding on. Remember, the Hellpit Abomination does have some serious healing that it can get going. It does have the procs, so if you do, of course, try and focus on the Hellpit, you can get a little bit unlucky with the heals, and things can go south very, very quickly. So, again, I like this gooning opportunity here. You can't let that Assassin get back into the blob. Every time you can drag a Skaven out of his rat's nest, every time you get the rat out of its lair, you need to punish it nice and good. Here, the Scourge Runner is still shooting, and the Hellpit Abomination down to about 1494. These Scourge Runners have a little bit of ammo, too. So Ice Power doesn't necessarily have to engage. Marathi and the Spears, and yeah, all the Cavalry should be able to pile in the fourth quarter of this game and, score that touchdown and more or less end the battle here. So the Spears are braced, which is good. They ignore the charge bonus of the Rat Ogres that are getting in there. And now the Thing Hellpit Abomination getting involved in combat as well. But here comes the big Dark Elf Alpha Strike. It's going to be quite nasty. You can see the Rod of Corruption goes down now, which does some great work against the Bleak Swords, also tattering up those units. But this is going to be a tough comeback for Skaven just based on leadership alone. Marathi also lowering the melee attack of all these nearby units to a very negligible amount. And Skrulk trying his best to hold here, but yeah, looking like the Skaven are taking some big losses. Marathi cycle charging, and she's pretty strong in combat. A lot of people think she's just a caster, but Marathi packs a punch. Not the highest damage overall, but she does have a big anti-large bonus, and also does, of course, have good, great AP value, so that makes her good in a multitude of situations. Spears and swords kind of chilling. The reason why the Dark Elves are kind of Netflixing in here and relaxing is basically because if you blob up too much and the Skaven use their Rod of Corruption, you can really you can take a huge penalty there. So army losses is getting danger close here. The Skaven army is just too damaged. Skrulk's on deathbed, and that is going to be game for the Dark Elves and Ice Power Total War. What a match. Awesome one. Truly a scrap. And you don't get to see Dark Elves too often on the higher levels of play, but Marathi, 2,900 value. Manticores did great. They paid for themselves, more or less. Harvesters did awesome. I mean, I think one of the big deciding moments was actually when the Dark Riders got into the Jezzails back there, and then like the Scourge Runners hit from the front, and the Dark Riders hit from the back, and shit was getting wild there in that situation. But Yeah, it was really, really well played. Great game. And this is kind of like the same principle that you're seeing a lot of greenskin players do against Skaven. Like, you just don't bring anything in the infantry game like worth a damn, basically, right? So the Mortis engine isn't that useful, nor are the mortars, and those are like two of the bigger elements that the Skaven have, right? So I really like that kind of evolution and style of play that we've been seeing to adapt to the power level of the Skaven. So now let's go ahead and load back in and get this going here. GG, well played. All right, and now let's go ahead and find another map here. So we'll put them on. We'll put them on the. I think River Amixon's fine. We can do that one. Map set. Icefire's like, I hate Skaven. Yeah, that's fun. Has Malekith fallen? No, Malekith, you still see him. There's a couple matchups. I personally prefer Marathi all day. I think Marathi is so good. Like, she lowers like melee attack by 18 around her. She has Soul Stealer. She's super mobile. She has a pretty good bound item. Her Wand of Koraidon is quite strong. Like, Marathi's, I think, a better lord, but that's just my opinion. Yeah, Icefire is for sure one of the best Dark Elf players out there. There's not too many people who you can say, like, yeah, I'm a Dark Elf main, but he is, and he actually plays them. There's, like, people who play Dark Elves, but when it gets serious, they don't. But this is clearly a top 4 of a bigger tournament, right? And he's not holding back, man. So we have Gabo Slayer, then picking Dwarves and banning Skaven and High Elves. Okay, so Druki is off the table. As far as picks go, I mean, you have a couple options here. You have Beastmen, Vampire Counts, Norsca. Yeah, that's smart. Vampire Counts actually have a pretty big advantage against Dwarves these days. I'm of the opinion that it's like a 60-40 matchup, if not worse. Like, the Vampire Counts have to make some big mistakes to lose that one. You know, because Dwarves are kind of like the reactionary faction, right? So the impetus to win is on the Vampire Counts there. Shit Got Wild is my favorite piece of tactical analysis of the day. You know, you gotta have some fun sometimes. You gotta have some fun. Malice is just a meme, yeah. Malice is a meme. Lokir is a meme. They're just not good lords for what you're paying. Like, Marathi is literally just better in every single way than those characters. Malekith is good, though, for sure. Like, Gaze of Malice is really good. He has the same Soul Stealer business. He's better in combat. He's tankier. Like, Malekith can be quite good with Dark Elf cavalry builds. Like, if you ride him in with the cavalry and, like, he fights with them and on his Velociraptor and then uses, like, Soul Stealers, it can be very good. Yeah. Vargeist or Vargulf mount, in your opinion? Dude, if you're saying if I had to choose one, I mean, you're always going to take the thing that can fly. You know? And riding a Vargulf, the way they run is, like, super gnarly. Like, it seems like, you know, it wouldn't be comfortable. Yes, the stream will be up on the channel later. So for anyone, if you need to go, my friend, it will be here for you. When the time comes. Queek Head Taker. Queek is only good in one matchup, and that one matchup is the Dwarves. Outside of that, he's pretty subpar. In my humble opinion. All right, so let's see who won on the bottom side. Okay, so Imperator did win on the bottom. He had a really good series with Anticity. And man, Anticity had a great run today, too. He defeated Magic Bird, Void Lulls, and then he had to face... yeah, he had some really, really close games across the board, almost making it. But in the end, his clanmate was able to win 2-1. So we will go to the 4 players here and update this. And now we have Imperator. Imperator, of course, has represented Empire, probably one of the better Empire players out there. And, you know, a lot of time in these tournaments, you see people using the same cookie cutter builds or very similar variations, but someone that uses, like, really off-the-cuff builds is Imperator. Like, they are just wild sometimes, man. Yeah. A defensive dwarf build without artillery. Yeah, I mean, usually in this matchup, it's like Longbeards and Trollhammer Torpedoes, and that's, like, it, you know? Yeah. That's how it goes. All right, so the die is cast. Gabo Slayer's ready for this next match, and we're going to be loading it. Of course, for today's stream, we have 2 best-of-3s, followed by a best-of-5 grand final. It's not the whole tournament. Obviously, a lot of the tournament, we started at 9 a.m. today, and it just we just now got to the top 4. So obviously, these events are quite long. Usually, they're about 6 hours, give or take, in my experience. But we'll see. And that's what happens, you know. It's a good thing, having that kind of interest. Especially during the week. It was crazy. This ECL had more signups than the ones we had on the weekends. I have no idea why. Maybe it's just because I had more notice. I don't know. Yeah, Hellebron is an interesting one because she has some like aspects of her kit which are pretty decent, but yeah, I think she's just overshadowed by like Marathi, yeah, and Malekith and those characters. All right, guys, let's party. Let us do it to it. Looks like there's no screen blocker up. I'm so paranoid about it, but you know we got to be here. So for the armies here, oh, I love this army. Dude, look at the Gobbo Slayer's army. Quad Slayer, dude. Triple Giant Slayer. Holy shit. Triple Giant Slayer. Oh, baby, a triple. He's got 3 of them, plus also the Dragonback Slayers. Front line's going to be miners, because obviously this is super expensive. He has 4 Iron Drake flamethrowers. What the hell is this build? In this matchup, Christian, I believe it's a Vampire Count favored. He's got 4 Iron Drakes, 4 Slayers, basically just low tier infantry that isn't going to do a whole lot. And he's got Grom Brindle, the White Dwarf. Holy shit. This is a serious build right here. Now, for the forces of the Vampire Counts, it's going to be zombies with Graveguard. It looks like we do indeed get the White King and Necromancer combo. So, yeah, the Necromancer just strokes the Forbidden Rod to accentuate the Vampire's power, basically. White King, you know, just kind of a ground force. Scab's Grace can be good against Slayers. And for the rest of the army here, we do have a Vampire Gorilla hiding in the trees, Black Knights, a Lami and Vampire Lord just to try and breath attack down elite targets. But there are no elite targets. This could actually really catch Ice Power off guard. Granted, I think this Dwarf build is very, very risky. Very risky. The Slayers aren't going to be too happy trading into just like chaff units and things like that. Fellbat's up in the sky, and that appears to be it. Holy shit, this is a off-meta build. EZ, or Escu, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the channel. Appreciate you, man. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. We're here to stay. Yeah, I know. I was just talking about off-meta builds, and then suddenly the Gobbo Slayer does like a backflip off camera and just appears with this build. The Giant Slayers and Iron Drakes. This is so awesome. This is so awesome. I'm so excited. Yeah, it's risky, man. Like, I can't make too many predictions about it. Like, obviously, if Ice Power has some inefficient plays and like lets his infantry get roasted, he could lose. But yeah, man, like Fellbats could dive on those Iron Drakes probably from the side. Like Vargulf cycle charging zombie summons. Man, 4 Giant Slayers or 3 Giant Slayers plus Dragonback Slayers. That is a metal army, dude. Not too many good breath attacks. I mean, yeah, Giant Slayers, I suppose, are the breath attack targets here. So you need to get them, like, blobbed fighting something. I'm quite curious if a Giant Slayer would actually defeat a Graveguard Great Weapon, like, head-to-head. That would be interesting. That would certainly be interesting. I mean, they're both more or less unbreakable, right? It's so crazy if I just work. I know, that's kind of how I feel about it here. Ice Power is probably doing a one-over at this army and, like, what the hell is going on here? Not that this army's, like, bad. I can see the principle and kind of what it's trying to do. So I'm not like calling it bad by any stretch of the imagination. But firstly, we see a zombie summon going down on top of the Iron Drakes. But what's cool about Iron Drakes is they're pretty tanky, 125 armor. Oh my god, unleash the holy fire. So right now, the Lami Vampire Lord being bathed in some righteous Dowie flame. But the Iron Drakes need to switch on top of the Graveguard Great Weapons like immediately. Killing zombies ain't going to cut it. So it looks like they do switch targets, and now the Graveguard are being bathed in some hot fire here. And it does do some decent damage, but right now the Iron Drakes will need to pull back, and the Miners with Blasting Charges appear to be in position to use their charges to peel off the harassing units. But the big old Lami and Vampire Lord kind of thinking about going down, but at the last second, Ice Power Total War kind of changes his mind. On this flank here, this is actually a little bit of a nice opportunity here for the Dwarves that hopefully they are able to capitalize on for their sake. The Giant Slayers could pile in here and massacre these Black Knights as well as the Vargulf, and they're a little bit late to the party, which is unfortunate. But obviously this Dwarf army has actually a lot to micro by Dwarven standards. So in the front, Iron Drake should be pulling back. Giant Slayers preparing to engage. Black Knights hammering into the back of multiple units here. But it looks like the Giant Slayers are taking a very conservative kind of engagement here. Although these ones in the middle have engaged. And now these Giant Slayers are going to be pancaking into the back of these Black Knights, which most of them are trapped here. So they're going to be paying a big price as these mighty, proud Dowie warriors just cleave these Black Knights. Holy shit, that's a lot of damage. Nice play here with the Direwolves. Obviously, when the Giant Slayers have to commit to combat, it leaves an opening. Direwolves do get on top of the Iron Drakes and are doing some big damage here. Quite nasty for sure, and it looks like there is going to be a big... Is that a Winds of Death? No, that's a Pendulum. Okay. I was about to get really excited. But the Pendulum still does some okay damage. Pendulum recently was nerfed pretty badly, so it's not like a terribly punishing spell like it used to be, but, you know, it still packs a punch and is good in this matchup, in my opinion. So Giant Slayers just kind of chilling out here. Iron Drakes are getting their roast on here. They're taking these Graveguards straight to the barbecue here. Negative 17 leadership. There's a leadership factor, of course, with the Iron Drakes. They do have the discouraging effect. Now some Dire Wolves as well as these infantry are pushing through to get on top of these guys, while Grom Brindle, the White Dwarf, continues to fight the Graveguard, leading to them crumbling. But so far the Vampires have gotten some decent surrounds for sure. I think Iron Drakes here, we have 10, we have 21, and we do have these ones that are actually still functional, despite this very, very messy fight over here. And I'm trying to see where all the Slayers are. The Slayers, of course, are going to be a big brick of unbreakable models to remove. The Vampires being given a taste of their own medicine. But the Dwarves appear to have stabilized okay in the middle. If these Iron Drakes could turn and roast these Graveguard right here. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, there was 69 for a second. I missed it. I missed that. That's what she said. I'm sorry. Giant Slayers, though, still getting in on these turns, and they appear to be trading relatively efficiently. We have more Giant Slayers piling in, and yeah, this is just a hog-wild game, but I feel like the Dwarves are losing a fair amount. And, of course, the Slayers will fight to the bitter end, but the Iron Drake's more or less going offline certainly hurts. Here comes the Iron Drake Flamethrowers going into the Lamian Vampire Lord, which is afflicted by the Flash Bomb. Grombrindle trying to get some attacks here onto the back of the Lamian Lord, but it looks like he can't quite get in there. The Lamian Lord does use Lightning Fast Reflexes to get a nice speed buff and should be able to get backing up. Purple Sun against Dwarves, yes, Purple Sun against Dwarves is good if they're going with like a box. Some Dwarves like to do like elite boxes, and a single Purple Sun can basically win you the game. We did see that in the Everchosen. I believe it was Fistek using Purple Sun against a Dwarven player. I don't remember who it was, but it like just decimated the army and basically instantly won him the game. So what he did in that situation is he sent in one Vargulf, let it get surrounded by like Slayers and infantry, and then he Purple Sun on top of his Vargulf and just like murked the army. It was brutal. So yeah, Slayers are starting to really feel the attrition of their light armor here, as like haggard zombies and white kings and just different assets are kind of mucking them up in combat and really punishing them quite badly. I don't see too many opportunities for the Dwarves to really close this one out, or get back in the game, I should say. Because yeah, the Slayers are going to have a hard time. It really depends too on the summons. I would imagine there are some zombie summons here. But I mean, if the Dwarves were able to kill all the chaff and just had Slayers left versus monsters, I mean, maybe there could be a chance to come back, but it's looking pretty grim for the Dwarves. They have a lot of unbreakable stuff. A very ambitious build, for sure. Still, I don't think quite as functional as the Trollhammer Torpedo variant. Trollhammer Torpedoes, of course, can kill the Vargulfs and Lamian Vampire Lord if they make one slip up here, but I love the innovation and very cool, unique build here by Gobbo Slayer. I think it's really neat to kind of see those things. Yeah, Dwarves are really falling by the wayside in terms of the balances. Slayers are, you know, they're still taking damage from zombies, right? It's not free real estate. So the Black Knights here, 34 models, probably going to be cleaning up the miners, making sure none of those bad boys come back to the battlefields. And it looks like there's going to be another grudge for the book. For those of you guys who are Dwarf fans here in chat, more grudges. More grudges for everyone. Now, Grombrindle going to be fighting the Lamian Lord. Flash Bomb used. Very good play there. Of course, slowing down the Lamian Lord, lowering its combat stats. Gromby might be able to get a couple chops. Pretty much the only way I can see the Vampires losing this game is if he quite literally just left his Lord there and let Grombrindle kill it. The Vargulf is here. I would imagine there's some Winds of Magic with either Invocations or Raised Deads. I love that the Flamethrowers are still going, man. This would be a wild comeback if the Dwarves are able to kind of work some magic here. So we got 27 Slayers here. We got 15. They are buffed up by Grombrindle Has No Fear, getting a nice melee attack boon there. The last of these Skeleton Warriors being chopped down by the Great Weapon Dawi, which is tricky. And, you know, that kind of makes sense, right? Like Giant Slayers are designed to kill cavalry and monsters. Like, they shouldn't be super powerful against infantry, too. That would be kind of absurd, right? Like, their zero armor is, like, not an attrition thing, right? Even in, like, one of the books, like, whenever Gotrek is fighting, you know, a horde of things. I guess in the books it's a little bit different, but... Well, anyways, there was a situation I was going to tell you guys from the Gotrek and Felix books, but I don't want to spoil a pretty major point in the storyline. But anyways, yeah, looking grim. The White Dwarf still fighting. A fair amount of skeletons. We also have the Black Knights. Black Knights could efficiently cycle charge Giant Slayers, though Giant Slayers will give it back. The X going to give it to you. Them Giant Slayers going to give it right back. But in the end, the Black Knights will probably do fine, while the Vargulf just continues to Gorilla Pound the White Dwarf here. He's very low, and army losses would have kicked in by now, but this is actually an entirely unbreakable dwarf force that is remaining here, so it is going to be all she wrote. Giant Slayers are designed to butcher anything. You know, I actually do like Giant Slayers as like a weird tech piece against Chaos sometimes, because basically they can actually fight like Chaos Warriors and Chosen relatively effectively. Oh, that Vargulf just picked up that Slayer. That's pretty unfortunate for that guy, but we'll give you guys the cinematic outro for the Slayers as we zoom in and see the last of Grungni's folk fighting to the bitter end here against their nemesis. And yeah, I've been seeing this nonstop, like watching streams and tournaments, and I've been seeing vampire counts just dominating dwarves lately. I don't know what it is, but the vampire count players have either learned a trick or two, or the dwarves have just you know, not been trying as much. I don't know, or not been practicing the matchup as much, is what I meant to say. And that's GG. So with that, Ice Power Total War will be advancing on to the grand finals of today's ECL qualifier. He did get there in the first week. He was in the grand finals against Felcon, and he mentioned to me before this game today, he's like, oh, I'm so glad Felcon's not here in the finals to greet me. But he did lose to Felcon. It was a good series, but he's back again to try and get there to the grand finals. So 2,400 here on the Lamian Lord. We do have the Graveguard, 900, 1,200, and 1,000 there. Pretty good, yeah. Just solid value spread across the army. Iron Drakes, 500, 500. 200, and 1100. Not bad, really. The Slayers, like, all did pretty well for themselves. Look at that. They all paid for themselves, more or less, except these guys. But the infantry was just rough. Yeah, just very rough. They've wronged us. Satisfy the pudge. All right, guys, let's go ahead and update the bracket. And we're going to go to the top 4 players for today. And the Ice Power Total War will be moving on. Thank you so much for joining again, guys. It's been quite a bit of fun. Very well played, Agabo Slayer. Truly bringing an epic build. I loved every moment of it. So hope to see you again. GG, well played. It's a very tough matchup. And that's that. That is that. Good series. And now we're going to get the next players in. So we will be inviting Carl Harmon, who I actually played him in a tournament the other day. I played him in my Swiss League. We had a really, really good series. He ended up beating me, but we had some super close games, and I was able to get him a couple times. But he is a very, very solid player. Certainly better than I am. So let's go ahead and get him in here. Let him know the password. And he's going to be facing off against Imperator. Imperator, another very, very terrifying player. Very, very strong. All right. There we go. GG, well played. Lobby is cleared up. And here we go. All right, so we'll see who joins the lobby first. In the meantime, we're just kind of hanging tight. If you are new to the ECL, like I said, here are the players who have already qualified so far. So Falcon and Alfredinho were the first 2 to qualify for the big old grand finals. So we'll be seeing them in the championship, whenever that is. Probably in a couple weeks, obviously. 5, 6, 7 weeks, maybe. Sometime in that range. But grudges are in the book. How's the World Tournament coming? It's just started, so I'll be keeping a tab on that. And I'm sure I'll be casting some replays. And of course, once we get to the grand finals and that kind of period, I'd like to certainly get very, very involved in casting and whatnot. So Lotus Moon, why doesn't he play in these? It's mainly a schedule thing for him because, like, Lotus Moon, you know, in previous ECL seasons has played, but for him, he's in Australia, so like when he's playing, it's like just brutal hours for him. He has to get up at like 4 a.m. or like just absurd stuff. So yeah, I feel bad for the guy because I'm sure he wants to play in so many events, but his schedule and, you know, where he is, it makes it very, very tough. All right, so we have the champs in here. Let's go ahead and pick the map here. We'll do Prague map set. Go look, have fun. And let us go ahead and update the nameplates. Versus Imperator. Reset the score. Jump into the battle. And let's do it. All right, guys. So we're just hanging out. They're talking about how they've had to like defeat all their clanmates to get here, which is fun. Yeah. I hope to do better in the next qualifier. Goal is to get past the first round. Hey, it's a good goal to have, you know. Honestly, it's just fun playing in all these events. Ice Power says, super glad Falcon isn't waiting for me in the finals. Don't worry, Ice. I'll make sure that if you are able to qualify today, I will make sure you get to face Falcon in round 1 of the championship. If of course, if that's what you want. It sounds like it's what you're asking for here. Falcon away to top his throne of skulls. Yes, he is corn. So players are doing their picks and bans now. So right now we're just kind of hanging out. We can enjoy each other's company and do it to it. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. There's so many cool tournaments going on. Yeah, I don't know. Wild Boy, that would be very interesting. It's quite a principle. I don't think there's any precedent for it in the lore. Because I don't know if the Dwarves would want to waste like a gyrocopter, you know? Gok Thim says, Turin, before the Rona, did you ever play 40k tabletop against? Yeah, of course. Against the Sisters of Battle? Oh yeah, for sure. I played competitive 40k, so I went to tournaments almost like every other week. Well, every couple weeks, I suppose, like twice a month. And then I would also play in a weekly league, and there was a Sisters player there. I played Death Guard and Chaos Space Marines, so I would run into them quite a bit. Ice Power says, please no, I'm too weak. Yeah, that's so funny, man. Falcon would bring tic-tac-toe, even in a big tournament. Okay, so Imperator, let's do the picks here. So Carl Harmon is going Wood Elves, and he's banning Bretonnia and Tomb Kings. And Imperator is going to go... Okay, here you go, guys. So, quick question here. They must select... Okay, one sec. Imperator asks for your help. His opponent has picked Wood Elves, and his pickable options are Lizardmen, Empire, or High Elves. What do you guys want to see? Lizardmen, Empire, or High Elves against Wood Elves. We need like a poll of some sort. Hold on. Straw poll. Because like if you just type it, there's going to be no way of telling. So I'll just create a straw poll real quick. Empire, Lizardmen, or... All right. Okay, looks good. There's the straw poll, guys. Go ahead and vote away. I'm going to give it 1 minute. Okay, set a poll. Stand by. We have some time to kill, too. We actually got through that first one pretty quick here, so. All right, so vote away, guys. You got to vote. Typing it won't do it. You got to go to the straw poll and vote. I'm trying to link it, but you guys are pushing it up too fast. Anakin, I'm too weak. All right, so we'll let this go for another minute because I don't want to hold up the stream for too long. So let's go to the results. Oh yeah, that's pretty decisive. Like even with more time, I don't think that's going to change. Yeah, it's just getting even heavier. Okay, Empire. So the Empire is like ahead by so many votes, guys. Yeah, the Empire has like 46% of the votes, and the other ones are like around 25, 31. All right, guys, so you've chosen. See, Imperator, a man after the heart of chat, letting you guys pick his faction in the top 4 of a tournament here. Call Harmon voting, I love that. Call Harmon just minimizing his game and like voting for the faction he wants to face. That's so funny. Oh my god, I really hope he did that. That would be so funny. Does YouTube still not have a poll feature for chat? No, it doesn't. Streamlabs has one, but it's like, I don't think there's one built in. Does Twitch have that? On Twitch, can you just like create a stream like through Twitch's user interface, or is it like different? The vote actually got close, but like even after like a couple minutes have passed, the Empire's still up. It's 112 for Empire, 82 for Lizardmen, and 66 for High Elves. So the Empire wins that still by a relatively decisive margin. If I were Call Harmon, I would totally do that. I'd like just go vote for the one I wanted to face. That's so funny, dude. Well, now, guys, here's the thing: if Imperator gets to the, if he's able to do well here for himself, he'll probably keep doing that. So you guys can get to pick his factions for the rest of this tournament. Who knows? Yeah, Carter. So Carter, firstly, thank you for being a member, and secondly, you are going to get Lizardmen. Call Harmon is one of the better Lizardmen players in the community. He is very good at them, so we will be seeing his Lizardmen. I'm sure. Like his next game, he'll probably pick lizards. Next tournament, chat gets to vote for every army pick. I have done that before. It was a while ago. Yeah, but then like it's just going to be like troll shit. Like it's just going to be like Beastmen every game. It might as well just be a Beastmen stream. You won't see any Skaven, you won't see any Vampire Coast, probably no counts. It'll just be like Beastmen versus like Dark Elves nonstop. You know, the funny thing is I have never actually played this game, but I watch the channel religiously. Hey man, that's good to hear. Yeah. Can we pick his Lord too? That's pushing it. That's pushing it. If he offers it, you guys can. But I'm not going to institute any such policy here. Against Wood Elves, Volkmar is okay. Marcus Wolfart's actually really good too. Nets plus like counter sniping. Yeah, you got tons of choices. You can even go with like a little Pegasus Lord. Go with like a Franz on a Pegasus or a Boris on a Pegasus. There's so much weird shit you can do in this matchup that honestly is decent. You can use the War Wagon ROR. I like to do that, but lately it's been kind of losing me games, so I'm kind of trying to switch my strategy up. But yeah. Some pretty cool streamer. Yeah, Italian Spartacus Gallahan. I think he uses Streamlabs though. I have to figure that out. I can do that as well. Yeah, I just gotta. I'm Sparty is like far superior to me in terms of technology and like learning new like things when it comes to like YouTube. I'm just like a caveman. Yeah. Yeah, I've done King of the Hill. Yeah, where people vote. Does Spartacus have a goat costume ready for the Beastmen DLC? I'm sure if there is like an Everchosen for that, and the Beastmen do get a DLC, like he will come in costume. For sure. Nostradamus. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about laptops, so I can't. I'm sure some folks in chat could recommend you a good gaming laptop, though. 2v1 fights in this game aren't very good. Even with very skilled players, it's kind of stupid because the double Winds of Magic and the double like characters and lords and single entities really unbalances it. You could probably take like 2 like beginner players and they would be able to defeat most high-level players with ease simply because of the double Winds of Magic. Yeah, it's not very good in this game. It's not like StarCraft where you can like really, or Warcraft 3 even. Because in like Warcraft, you can watch like Grubby or like other, you know, pro players or ex-pro players just dominate like multiple newer players. It doesn't work like that in this game. It's Sparty's baldness that lets him soak up more knowledge. He's wise for sure. Whenever I have like a tech question about something or like, you know, anything pertaining to YouTube stuff, I always hit up Spartacus, yeah. How's the matchup between Wood Elves and Empire? I would say pretty even, but maybe slightly favored for Wood Elves, like 55-45, but it's still like a viable pick against Wood Elves if you're like an Empire main, but I feel like Wood Elves are just very, very strong right now in general. Yeah. Be a DAO YouTuber. Yeah, I've always been of the opinion if you want a game, just get a desktop. Unless your life situation really doesn't allow you to have a desktop and you have to like always be moving and this and that, you can't really put roots down. Honestly, man, for gaming, just get like a rig, get like just a tower. Like it's so much better. Laptops, even the best ones, run into like overheating issues and like, yeah, from what I've heard. This is all anecdotal, but honestly, I would just get a tower unless you really don't have a choice. Yeah. All right, guys, so here we are. New best of 3 series. Of course, we've just had Ice Power Total War advance to the grand finals, and now we have Kal Harmon facing off against Imperator. So front line's going to be Dryads. Dryads, of course, trade very well with State Troopers, backed up by a couple Glade Guard Starfire Shafts. Not a couple, actually. Looks like 7 in total, so a combination of Poison and Starfire. When I actually played Kal Harmon in a best of 5 a couple days ago, and we played this matchup, and this was his exact build. He just brought Mass Glade Guard, he had Dryka here, and he also had some Wild Riders, and yeah, great Stag Knights. So pretty solid for sure. A lot of stopping power. The Starfire Shafts can certainly trade well with a number of targets. And now for the Empire, it's going to be State Troopers, backed up by Volkmar, so a very aggressive build. He does have the quad Pistolier as well, which is quite nice for sure. Very good poke against like Wild Riders, Stag Knights. Also can dive backline archers, which is cool. We have Empire Knights, a Shadow Wizard with Enfeebling Foe and Melkos, and it looks like Knights of the Blazing Sun across the board. Very good. Like, I love the cheap kind of haggard front line for the Empire because Volkmar can pretty much win the front line on his own. So you just kind of win the mobile game using your heavy cav, right? It's hard, though. Easier said than done. There's spears. I think, did he bring any spears? No spears, actually. Just mass archers, man. Yeah. Yeah, I see a lot of people in chat talking about the laptops not being as good. And I 100% agree. Yeah, and the amount of bang for your buck that you get for buying a tower is so much better. It's so much better. We have a donation from Mick Gluttons. I'm painting a big Chungus Stonehorn. Ogres for game 3. I'll send in the Iron Guts. Hey, thank you for the donation. And the big Chungus ogre. Ogres are the definition of big Chungus for sure. Yeah, battle looks like it's about to be underway. The Empire more or less with a cavalry rush. A Volkmar cavalry rush backed up with some Pistolier support. Certainly quite nice. And that is it. Yeah, towers are modular too. So you can like change parts as stuff ages out. I might even be able to salvage some stuff from my PC for my next build. Although my PC is from 2015, so it's really old now. I got it like a year, 6 months before I started YouTube, give or take. Yeah. Yeah. I don't stream on Twitch. No, just the YouTube. I'm like I said, I don't know. I'm sure from like a business perspective, it'd be smart to like stream on Twitch too and just like cast a wider net. I understand that from like a business standpoint, like trying to make a living. But I make, I just love the YouTube community. I love YouTube chat. I like to focus on it. YouTube has its problems for sure. Its inefficiencies, especially as it pertains to streaming. But, whatever. I love the community here. So I stay here. That's that. That is that. The only reason I'd start streaming on like Twitch is if there was like a big change on YouTube streaming services and it like was just became super haggard or like, there was some like big issue, right? So Volkmar actually being focused right as the battle does begin. He does heal. He does have magic resist. Granted, they did take magic damage off the Starfire Shafts, which was a good change. It made them a little bit better against Dwarves, actually. It looks like a banishment attempt going down from Volkmar in the back, but a nice dodge by Call Harmon. He's very, very on point here. I love the fact that the Empire's falling back here and kind of pulling away from this Archer line and then taking like big engagements over here. So Knights of the Blazing Sun against Wild Hunters of Kurnus, Empire Knights against Dryads here. It looks like there is going to be an enfeebling foe going down, and the Pistoliers of Imperator are circling this formation like an absolute hawk. Nice Soulfire Bombardment going down. Volkmar is also very strong here, a hard counter against Dryka. He does do fire damage, has anti-infantry, and she is a tree. Very, very flammable indeed. Now, will Impy get caught here? It looks like the Pistoliers do take a little bit of an unfortunate charge there, but he reacts pretty quickly, honestly. And he's able to get back, and I'm sure the Knights of the Blazing Sun will be able to kind of lift up and do some work. But on that same note, Call Harmon is doing some devastating damage against Volkmar, and oftentimes you don't see people go for Volkmar and try and kill him early. Oftentimes he's like the last thing you have to go after because he's such a damn linebacker to kill. But in this case, the archers are getting some huge damage on him. But now the Empire is getting some Empire Knights into this undefended line, right? So there's 4 archers here, which are being pressed by spears and Empire Cav. And it's very, very messy for sure. Also, the Pistoliers could drift around here and really start diving into the archer line as well. Now, in this engagement, Swordsmen against Dryads, Dryads do typically win that, but Knights of the Blazing Sun are lending their lances to this fight with their fire damage. Might be able to help the Empire win some of those engagements. A little bit hard to say, but the battle is very, very all over the place. Empire Knights still stuck in sustained combat here. Empire Knights are not a unit that cycle charges terribly well with their speed. They only have 66. Knights of the Blazing Sun do have 70 plus speed, so they're a little bit faster, making them a pretty solid choice against Wood Elves. But Call Harmon's back line of the Starfire Shafts really, really just getting hammered here. The Knights of the Blazing Sun and the Empire Knights have just gotten balls deep into this back line, and they're really causing some serious problems for sure. You can see here the Starfire Shafts are getting terrified. Volkmar the Grim rolling with his glorious battle cart. Oh no, were these tactical reserves? Oh no, not like this. So Call Harmon had some dreaded tactical reserves, which, oh no, that hurts. So he sees the tactical reserves and then he leaves the game. Oh, what a rough way to start. He was playing quite well, but he forgot about a great Stag Knight, which honestly, those Cav fights were very close. If he had had a great Stag Knight helping out, he probably could have won some of them and defended his archers. But instead of not having those great Stag Knights, which were left in the tactical reserve, yeah, that's rough. That always hurts too, because he was playing well aside from forgetting a very important unit in his army. But yeah, this build by MP, very, very strong. I love it. And yeah, the Wood Elf build could have won too. If he had those great Stag Knights, it could have been a different game for sure. Yeah, could have been. The dreaded tactical reserves. I know. The curse continues. Imperator goes up 1-0 here in this best of 3. And now we'll be loading into the next match here in a hot moment. And we can go ahead and do... What map do we want to do? We could do the Storm Demon. Map set. So we got Bretonnia being picked by Imperator, and he bans Dwarves and Lizardmen. Okay, cool. Bretonnia, widely considered, mainly because of the Fey Enchantress, to be one of the strongest factions in the game right now, especially in the hands of good players. They can be really, really nasty. He would have won with some Firebark Elders against Volkmar. Oh, yes. I see you're a man of culture. The Firebark Elder gambit. The counterplay. So we got Bretonnia versus Norsca. Should be fun. You got Famir, you got Mammoths, you got Seafang, you got Pendulums, Burning Heads. It's a fun matchup. It's a fun matchup. So, just to be clear, that wasn't actually a tactical reserve. That's just like a joke we have here in the community for when somebody forgets a unit, including myself. Because I pretty much do it every single game with like a Hound or something. Yeah, no, yeah. Total War on Twitch isn't like super popular from what I've seen. Like I've seen YouTubers Total War YouTubers who have massive followings on YouTube, like go stream on Twitch, and like they still, it doesn't seem to be super popping over there. But not that it's like bad. Like it's just you hit a ceiling a little bit quicker, I think. Because Twitch's streaming UI is really good. Yeah, it's really good. You'd like to have specific color schemes for each Empire Elixir count, yeah. I know. If I'm not mistaken, I think the Empire is like, of all the factions in campaign at least, I think the Empire is the most played faction, hands down. I remember, I think I was talking to someone at Creative Assembly when we were there for like an Everchosen, and they're like, yeah, hands down, the Empire is the most played faction. Even when there's like new shiny stuff, everyone goes back to the old Sons of Sigmar. And I actually do think the Empire campaign is some of the best in the entire game. I remember a game Turncast. Yep, no, that happened, man. That was a Swiss League stream, a game between Contende and I can't remember who he was playing. It was a good series. It was really fun. Are you going to get Condom Wolves? Against Bretonnia? I don't know. Some people do it. I'm not a huge fan. I feel like Condom Wolves just get wrecked by Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights, like super hard. Personally, I like prefer like a Famir box with like a Mammoth and like a Burning Headcaster. So then you're like sea-fanging the archers and burning heading the archers, and then you just use some hounds to chase them while you then use Famir to like blunt their charges. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's load in. Hey, Christian Gonzalez. I don't see a message, man, but thank you so much for the donation. Oh, I see the message now. Okay. Just got off work. Hyped to see you stream Qualifier number 3. Thanks for the epic entertainment as always. I got you covered, man. Kick off those shoes, man. Relax after work. We have the best of 5 finals coming up. So this is, of course, best of 3 here on the Storm Demon. And then after this, we have a best of 5, which will be good. Best of 5s go quite long, too. Obviously, quite a few games. I'm playing Empire right now. Yeah, the Empire campaign, I think, like, despite all the fancy DLCs, the Empire campaign is just the best, like, in my opinion. It's so goddamn good. Like, it's such, like, a good, like, scaling. Like, okay, you have the rebels in the beginning. That part isn't, like, super fun. It's kind of annoying, actually. But once you get past that, you have the vampires, you have the greenskins attacking your forts, you have, like, chaos coming in. You now have to deal with Draika. Like, it's just such a fun campaign. Yeah. Yeah, Kyburn, I've thought about that. Yeah, this matchup used to be Norscan favored. Yep, way back in the day, for sure, Hadries, but it's changed. Norsca can win it, so can Bretonnia. Like, I honestly feel like it's pretty even nowadays. We'll see, though. Wow, no Mammoth, okay. I guess doesn't want to give up big targets for his mass archers. Pretty cool build here by Call Harmon, very different. Front battle line and Marauders, obviously they'll do fine against peasants and whatnot. Javelins here against cavalry. Okay, that can work. A little bit tricky if they're being like circled. They can't like turn super quick. We do get the Famir Great Weapon. So yeah, it's more or less like a box build. This is like very much like an old school build against Bretonnia. You have your infantry, which of course win. You defend the javelins. When they charge in, you javelin them, and then you blunt their charges with the Famir, basically. So on top of that, we have Horserick the Wanderer. We have a Metal Caster or Firecaster of Burning Head, and a Metal Caster of Plague of Rust. Basically, if there's a big armored cab unit or a character of some sort, you can Plague of Rust and drag them down. I think Horserick plus the Feral Manticore are designed to like basically be like a surgical knife and just scalpel out the paladins and the Fey Enchantress from your army. So that's kind of how I perceive that here. So yeah, currently Imperator is up 1-0 here in the series, and if he does win this, he'll be moving on to the Grand Finals to face the Ice of Power. And currently for Impy's army here, he does have Peasants and Men-at-Arms, Holy Wardens, Companions of Quinn Elves, Knights of the Realm, of course, really good against Condom Wolves. Honestly, not terrible against Famir if they can like rear charge them and break their leadership. And Fey Double Paladin, so very, very relatively meta army. I mean, some people, vary on the Knights of choice, questing Knights versus Knights of the Realm, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, Fey, Paladins, cheap infantry, you guys get the picture. Yeah, I do know Destiny. Yeah, I remember him from StarCraft. Yeah, way back when. It's crazy. Yeah, I watch a fair amount of Day 9 streams, because back in the day when like StarCraft 2 was like the premier esport, I used to like binge watch like In Control. I would watch Day 9, Artosis, Tasteless, like all those guys in their commentary, and yeah, there was a guy named Root Cats, or I can't remember what clan he was in. There were so many folks. Yeah, Idra was always a fun one to watch. The early Rage. Yeah, man, I miss those days. It was like the Wild West of esports, Yeah, so cool. Big targets don't last long in this meta. Certainly true. The Soul Crusher with its Enrage can last a little bit longer. See, what's cool about the Burning Head Seafang combo is like with proper control, he can basically instantly delete 2 of the Archers of Imperator, getting rid of like more or less 800 gold. So yeah. Day 9's awesome. He mostly does Magic streams now. I think he plays Valheim too. I don't know if he's as involved in like play by like commentary and things like that. Yeah, Day 9 is the man. Like I love all that OG community. StarCraft's like community was so fun. Yeah. My favorite thing ever, one of my favorite streaming experiences was watching In Control do commentary, and like whenever they would give him, like, not every time, but they would give him like a paintbrush on the StarCraft map, right? And he would just always find a way to draw like something phallic, or just be like, it was so good. He was so funny, man. Yeah, that guy was the greatest, man. And he was also like a super high level 40k player as well. Anyways, guys, so here we are. Peasant Bowmen shooting into Berserkers. Very, very good efficiency. Berserkers have no way to mitigate missiles. They have 15 armor. That is super efficient. Now, in the front line, we do get the Companions charging in, but the Fimir are very close. But man, masterful control here by Imperator. He like pulls back before any response can really be mounted. And the Bretonnians very much just kind of sitting like vultures here on the wings. They do have the Knights of the Realm here and here. A little bit delayed on these Knights, though. They should certainly be, at the very least, getting in position. And now Imperator does see that. He pulls them in. And now we have the blob fight as well. So, Wulfric fighting the Paladins. A huge burning head going down. But it looks like it... Oh, man, that roasted the Holy Wardens. Totally worth it. I mean, even if it gets your own Marauders, the Holy Wardens have been buckled off there. That's a very nice, pricey piece to get rid of. And now we have a blob fight, which is what the Enchantress has a hard on for, right? Because this Mortis Engine is going to drain the dogs, the infantry. But if the Fimir can bunker bust the Companions, which it appears they are, Companions are actually taking some huge damage. And look at this, there's going to be a Sea Fang going down as well, which goes through the Companions, also tears through some of the Knights of the Realm. Things are getting quite spicy. Yeah, the double Javelin fire really doing nasty work here against the Companions. Beautiful stuff indeed. Now, rear charge coming in. Knights of the Realm do charge into the Hunters with Javelins. We also have more cavalry coming. But have the Javelins gotten enough value to really justify their play here? And the Fimir overchasing a little bit, but they might get rewarded for it. They actually do catch some of the Knights of the Realm here, and these Fimir taking these guys to Poundland, and yeah, really doing some work as those Knights of the Realm do kind of scurry off. But they're also a little bit overextended. Probably ultimately a misplay letting those guys get that far out there. And now we're back in the big disgusting blob fight. So the Fimir warriors, and yeah, leadership can break for Norsca in this situation, which is very, very scary. Nice burning heads though, man. Like breaking off all the Bretonnian support. The leadership is really tanking, but so is the durability of these Fimir here. Fimir are very heavily armored, but you know, double Paladins here and Enchantress, they can do some nasty work. Now the Manscore is rampaged. It is attacking, I believe, the Enchantress, so certainly a pretty good target there. Fimir up on the high ground are surrounded. It looks like Bretonnia is getting the better picks. I think if the Fimir army had stayed a little bit tighter together, you know, the overchase back here, like having this engagement on the high ground, and like you have 12 relatively healthy Fimir being chased off the battlefield by cavalry here. That is very disastrous. And I think unless Norsca gets like a really good pick on something, like if Horsrick is able to kill the Paladin, go like Super Saiyan, kill the Enchantress, I think this game is over. I think that the Bretonnians have their archers online, they're applying poison. Fimir are easily going to be chased off the battlefield, and the Mortis Engine effect just pretty much spells a death sentence for the hordes of Norsca here, as Imperator with some very, very good play for sure. He's able to clean this one up against his, I believe, Call Harmon. Is Call Harmon in the ODM clan? Yeah, I can't recall. For some reason, I feel like somebody said he was, but he doesn't have the clan tag, so I'm not sure. GG, well played. Imperator going to be taking ye old victory here, going on to the grand final. So Ice Power, if you are watching in chat, please do prepare to join the lobby, this same lobby, and we'll get you in just a moment. Good play for sure. The beginning was really good for Call. He was able to really, really wreck the Companions with the Javelin play. It was really good until that backline crash came and those Fimir overextended. That basically allowed the Fimir to get surrounded, and their bread was very, very heavily buttered. So yeah, value, I mean, across the board, nothing too crazy. Knights of the Realm got like 1,000 here and there, and Horsrick got about 1,200, more or less paying for themselves. The Fimir certainly did not carry their weight. One Fimir had 177 value, 530, and like 750. That is a rough trade there for those bad boys. So now we can go on. We have Imperator advancing on to the grand finals to face Ice Power Total War in a best of 5, and let's get this party started. GG, well played. Paul Harmon says thanks. Hope to play again sometime. And there you go. There you go. So we can go ahead and open up a spot here. And what are we missing? There we go. Set score. Ice Power Total War. And I'm sure he'll join soon. Imperator gets revenge for the tactical reserves. No, not quite, because Call Harmon was the one with the tactical reserves. So there was no vengeance there. Ice Power Total War. Invite him to the lobby. And Ice Power arrives for the best of 5. The player's just kind of chatting here, so you're very welcome. You're welcome, Call Harmon. Take care. You're welcome. Oh, he's gone. All right, looking good. Let's get him on a map here. And we will put them on Ye Olde Oakenhammer for the first map. Even though they've already played it today, it's still a really good map to start a best of 5 with. And, you know, there's not too many great maps out there. So, you know, we gotta pick and choose carefully here. All right, loading into the finals. Ice Power Total War against Imperator. We're just going to kind of hang tight and while they pick their armies and do their picks and bans. And just hang out and chat. Norsca can handle most factions. Yeah, Norsca's got some teeth for sure. It's just a shame they only have 2 lords. It's always a bummer when factions have like, yeah, like 1 or 2. Like Beastmen might as well have 1 lord, right? Like Khazrak is just a complete shit lord. And you know, they basically just have Morker and like, you know, just the Beast Lord. You know, Cyberpansy, I actually did tweet today for the stream. I did. I very rarely I'm good on social media, but today I did do a tweet before it started, so can't catch me on that today. Yeah. Yeah, Hadri's with a good point. Biggest issue with Norsca is that everyone knows the builds from them. Strong units, but predictable can be the death in multiplayer. Yeah, really good analysis, Hadri's, for sure. Like limited lord choices. You can easily like prepare for them. You don't have to worry. But like that's the thing, like Empire, Skaven, like they can like Vampire Coast, they can all do so many different builds, and like Norsca has like 1 or 2 viable options in most matchups. That's super predictable. All right, so hold on. Best of 5. So you get 2 bans for first games, then down to 1. So yeah, so how we're doing it is they get for the first game they both get the pick and double ban, and then after that they go back to single bans because in best of 5 it can run out. Anubis, thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. Palpatine's cackle will bless your entry here, and thank you, man. Did you post on MySpace when you went live, dude? I had a MySpace. Don't get me onto that rant about how much fun MySpace was when it first came out. Oh my god, the high school MySpace in 2005 or 4. Demogryph Knights have never been OP. They've always been like a staple of the Empire, but never OP. Yeah. Bretonnia may be predictable, but like there's it's so powerful, the Fey combo, that like it doesn't matter if you know it's coming. It's still hard. Yeah. Norse could be like 1 or 2 mammoths. There you go. Yeah. There was no mammoths though today. We didn't see any. How's it going, Maximus Decimus? Hope you're doing well, man. So Escu says, I'd like to join a Spanish-speaking clan. So yeah, no, you're not going to have any success on Reddit. For sure, when it comes to like niche multiplayer stuff. So let me go ahead and get you an invite. So here's a link to my multiplayer Discord. Anthony Boylan, you met your wife on MySpace in 2008. Damn, dude. So if you join my Discord, bud, from there's a section called like Total War Clan Recruitment or Clan Recruitment. I can't remember. Just go there, and there's a pinned comment in that section which talks about all the different clans and who to contact for them. And yeah, there would be clans that for sure would be there to work with you. As long as you got a good attitude and all that sort of good stuff, which I'm sure you do. All right. Oh, dude, we got Beastmen versus Dark Elves here in game 1. Ice Power going with the Druki facing off against Imperator's Beastmen. Yeah. Is the Fey combo OP? It's very strong. Yeah. Fey Enchantress, it's not like Fey Enchantress herself is just very strong. What's interesting though, if you like nerfed Fey Enchantress into the ground, Bretonnia as a faction would just like tank. So it's like she's like the crutch that holds the faction up. Yeah. Yeah, correct. I agree with the assessment. The quick battle leaderboard doesn't really mean a whole lot because it's like there's a ton of degenerate shit you can do to climb the ladder, like draw kiting infinitely and like just, you know, abusing like certain things that aren't really like regulated in ladder. Like the best gauge of like seeing strong players typically is you know, obviously seeing these type of tournaments, whether it be on my son Herbert Walker's channel here, Viking Cat runs tournament. I mean, there's so many tournaments, right? So Arrows tournaments, just it goes on and on. Valkanos runs. I mean, I don't want to miss anyone, but yeah, you get the picture. There's tons of great tournaments. So seeing like folks who consistently perform well in those tournaments, those are the breadwinners for sure. Hey, thank you for becoming a member. Here comes that boy. Hopefully the us going over your builds yesterday was helpful. Cheers, man. Really appreciate that. Because the ladder is just dog shit in this game. Like, it's just terrible. Like, the MMR system is bad. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've queued onto ladder. And there was a time, I remember, like, in the early days of Warhammer 2, I was, like, in the top 10 on the ladder or something. Because I was playing a lot back then of quick battles. And, I would go on and play. And I would end up playing someone who was like 2,000 in the ladder, or like 800. Someone's like, oh, it's my first game in multiplayer. They don't bring a caster. They like clearly don't know how to play the game like super well, which is fine. But like they're going against like people in the top 10, top 50. It's just crap. And on top of that, there's no regulations when it comes to like engagement rules, so people can just run in circles and draw kite. And basically, there's builds you can bring where like you can always draw kite and never lose. If you just want to, if you're about to lose, just disengage and draw kite around the map for 20 minutes. You're never going to lose. You're just going to get draws. There's like so much bullshit about ladder, which is unfortunate. That's why community discords like the one I run, Inticity has an awesome setup where he's made his own ladder that is like regulated. It provides maps and like it's so damn good. Yeah. Anyways, I'll contact him about doing a video on that. I think that'd be cool for a lot of you guys to get in there. No, but I'm just saying, like, even though, like, yeah, back then I might have done well in ladder, like, I'm nowhere near the top echelon of players, right? Like, ladder is just like it's a crapshoot, basically. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm confident that in Game 3, I think that Creative Assembly has seen how, though multiplayer is still niche, I think there's a big viewership for it. Like, if you go look at, like, episode 30 of a campaign on someone's channel and compare it to, like, the average quick battle or something, like, multiplayer really does very well in terms of pulling in a new audience. The battles are very immersive and cool. So I think Creative Assembly sees the value of, like, making multiplayer a good system. So I'm hoping in Game 3, we're going to get some good stuff. Yeah, I'm really hoping. All right, guys, so if we take a look here at Ye Old Beastmen, it's going to be a front line of gore herds with shields. Very cool. Yeah, I'm so used to seeing like Ungors and like Spawn and different things like that. Yeah, Inticity, we could do that, and of course drop a link to your Discord and your channel, and folks can get in there, and we'll fill up your ladder, man. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. His ladder's like, I go on there now and I play like 1 or 2 best of 3s a day, and I've been loving it, dude. So we got Centaurs, Sons of Goros here as well. Centaurs on the flanks, a mixture of basic Centaurs and Great Weapon Centaurs to have some armor to punch through the Cold One Knights. Harvesters, a very cav-centric army with mostly spears. And it seems that Ice Power Total War is very, very heavy duty into the Marathi Manticore Goon Squad. And now it looks like we have an early engagement. Somehow these Scourge Runners actually get trapped by some Harpies here, and Imperator's coming in pretty hard, going after the dreaded Scourge Runner, but it looks like it will probably get away despite a Spirit Leech. And in the front, Ice Power cycle charging with the Harvesters and Dark Riders, and now the frontline fighting will be underway. Now, as far as this frontline fighting goes, Goreherds should win this fight quite decisively. They hit very hard, have high weapon strength, and you can see the immediate shock damage onto the Bleak Swords is pretty substantial, although, yeah, not bad. But I think in long-term combat, the Gores should win that fight. Otherwise, I'm just really behind the times, and I just don't know what I'm talking about, which is probably the case. Anyways, here, Sons of Goros moving around the flank. Obviously, a pretty cool unit. They do have the perfect vigor and can get quite nasty. And the Beastmen taking their Goreherd fights across the front line. And now let's look at this. That's actually a pretty damn even fight. I'm really surprised about that. Over here, of course, the Ye Old Scourge Hunter Chariots are really getting involved in this fight, and they should lead to winning in this whole flank, basically. The Scourge Hunters charging here and here will be quite huge. Beastmen getting a nasty engagement in the backfield, though. You can see that the Harpies as well as the characters have come in. Oh, no, and the big surround is coming in. So nice surround by Impy. He gets around the back with the Sons of Goros as well as these Centaurs. But Marathi's coming in, and she's all about them blob fights. She's able to get a Soul Stealer here, debuff the melee attack, and even though Imperator did get a really sexy surround back here, he's still going to be paying a bit of a troll toll. Sons of Goros, a relatively expensive unit, are broken. The Soul Stealer really able to nail that blob fight, and Marathi and company seem to be doing very well. Balance Fire is pretty even. Back in the front line, yeah, just a bit of a wash. We have Raiders, and Bleak Sword's actually winning those fights, which is interesting. I always assumed Goreherds would win that because of their charge bonus and damage output, but I suppose you have to take into account the Murderous Prowess going off as well, which does give vigor and melee attack and all sorts of good stuff. So that probably is what kind of tips the fight into the favor of the Bleak Swords there. Blackhorn's Ravagers moving in. We got a big blob fight for sure. Double Manticore still going quite hog wild here, but now Morkers here. And Murker is going to be dropping some big old spawns here. Looks like the Staff of Corruption has gone down, as well as the basic Chaos spawn. Now, what's really strong here for Ice Power Total War is, despite the fact that there have been 2 big erect spawn summons, the bounce power is still even. That is a huge boon here for the Druchii, as we are going to be seeing another Soul Stealer here from Big Mama Marathia. She is going to be nuking the Blackhorn's Ravagers, Morker, some of the Cab units. And honestly, the Dark Elves should be able to escape quite happily. The Beastmen Archers are being crumped by the Scourge Runners in the back. Bleak Swords chasing off the infantry on the other side of the map. As a matter of fact, if I had to take a relatively early prediction here, I would say that the Dark Elves are in very, very good shape, and they're probably going to edge out this game just based on the summons disappearing. But again, Imperator is a masterful player. He still has his characters. He's got Morker. And the Wind's Magic is probably running a little bit on fumes here for Marathi. So there's a lot of variables going on there. So here in the back, Scourge Runner Chariots just kiting about, just shooting into the Centaurs. Very good value there, picking off a couple models each time they shoot. And the Beastmen don't really have much in the way of infantry support. And watch this bounce of power right now, guys. Just take a little bit of a gander here. So we got about 20 seconds left on the spawn, maybe about 15 seconds, give or take. Yes, the sad cow noise is pretty funny. The Minecraft cow. But anyways, yeah, Spirit Leech going down on the Scourge Runner Chariots. And yeah, not bad for sure. You know, you could potentially kill a model, which would be very impactful in terms of getting rid of the ammunition and different things like that. But yeah, they're gone, and the other spawn will be gone in a couple seconds. And the bounce power does go a little bit. It looks like it didn't shift too much, honestly. Looks like we still got a Royal Rumble on our hands. Now, what would actually behoove Ice Power Total War is basically just to take a very conservative approach here, not give the Beastmen a square engagement until you can build up your Winds of Magic again on Marathi. So yeah, just like in order to obey the attacking rule, just go kill these Ungors here, chase them off for as long as you can. Send in some Dread Spears to just be sacrificed if need be, but really don't take a square engagement against the Beastmen, because that's one way the game could be thrown, is by diving in and taking some unfortunate trades. But if you've got a Soul Stealer, you can get this Beastmen blob into like a big surround. That's probably just going to be GG. Like, yeah, it looks like Marathi must have a Soul Stealer. She's coming in to fight. So she's going in. Her anti-large will be very good against the Bray Shaman here, so she's going to turn. 2 Manticores going in as well for the Gooning attempt, and a beautiful snipe there as that Bray Shaman of Shadows gets absolutely dunked on. And then Marathi's coming in for a big old... Yes, if you have the Marathi emoji, spam it in chat, because there actually is one for Marathi that Lady Turn drew. And Soul Stealer going down. Wand of Crydon as well. The Bray Shaman really taking a righteous hammering, and the wand should be coming down from the sky any second there. You can see the Void opening up from wherever Marathi pulls that shit from. And boom, headshot right on top of the Bray Shaman. Balance of Power is pretty Dark Elf favored at this point, as we're getting to see a cool Dark Elf clinic here put on by Ice Power Total War. Very, very cool to see them in action. And the Bray Shaman is broken, and with that, Imperator does withdraw, and Ice Power Total War claims Game 1 in this Best of 5 series. Beautiful play. Yeah, the Beastmen need to start hoofing it out of there. I agree with you, Hendrik. Or no, wait, who said that? No, Cyber Pansy. Yes, I agree with you. All right, so Marathi did great. Scourge Runners were awesome. Like, everything clicked. It was just a smooth execution, and I am thoroughly surprised to see how well the Bleak Swords did. Oh, they weren't the dual-wielding Gores. Okay, that makes sense. I think the dual-wielding Gores have much higher damage output and can usually DPS through them, but yeah, great play. The Marathi emoji, yes. Let it fly. All right, let's go ahead and update it. Very good. And now, my friends, we can go back to the lobby and hang out. I mean, for the Beastmen, any crazy value we missed? Not really. Everything, I mean, the one Bray Shaman got about 1,300 from some of his magic, but aside from that, nothing was too wild. Yeah, Ice Power's been playing great. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the main lobby. Here we are. Let's hang out. So for the next map here, we should just put them on like the Plaque of Sotek or just some ridiculous meme of a map. That would be so cruel. All right. Is it Summer Song or Shimmer Sword the good one? I think it's Summer Song, right? So there's some tournament folks here in chat here. Anticity. I know one of those maps is bad. Summer Song, Shimmer Sword. Which one has that like pool in the back that like you can camp on? I think Summer Song is the good one. Map set. Do you think there'll be a Slaneshi Lord that has 69 for all of its stats just for me? I would love that, but I don't think so. Because then every single time I would go like do commentary over the unit, I would just be like biting my lip, just not being able to hold it back. Hey, Matter11, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the Dukes of Haggard. We got quite a few new members today, man. We got Here Comes That Boy. We got Anubis, Esku, Iceni Raider, and now we have Matter 11. Thank you. One of those horrible Wood Elf maps? Do it. Is it Shimmer Sword? Shimmer Sword has the pool. Okay. So Summer Song is the better one. That's what I thought. Okay. We're all set. That would be really funny. Oh my god. Do the new Wood Elf map just with the huge like green orb above you and just laggy and just crap. Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, Ben the Barman, I agree. That map isn't terrible. It depends. It depends. All right, so we got Skaven against Bretonnia. Two powerhouse factions going at it. Yeah, it should be fun. I don't know about this matchup. I used to think it was very Skaven favored, but obviously with Fey Paladin just like going apeshit, like it can be a problem because Paladins are really good against many Skaven monsters, and the Fey Enchantress like just kills all the chaff. So it's like, yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky to uproot them for sure. Ezku, how come you've never joined the Discord before? I feel illuminated. I know, man. Where you been? Where you been? Got to join the party. Yeah, we run, so pretty much like, obviously most tournament hosts have their own Discords, but a lot of folks in the community will post their tournaments in the Discord here. So you can like find tournaments from all sorts of folks there if you want to get involved. Also, if you use the looking to practice section, it's a good place to find some folks to practice with. Chief Big Sad, how worried about Lord Creep are you for Warhammer 3? I'm not too worried, to be honest. Like, I think at first it might be jarring because it's going to be like so different, and there's going to be, dude, like the meta is going to be absolutely apeshit for like the first like 6 months because there's going to be 6 or 7 new factions. That is going to be insane. So like it's just going to be like the Wild West in terms of like balance and like, but you know, once it kind of calms down a little bit, people understand how factions play, et cetera, you get the picture, right? So yeah, I agree. Throt can do it. I like Throt a lot here. Like Throt plus like a Brood Horror or a Packmaster, they can trade with the Fey Paladin squad pretty well. Yeah, it's back and forth. But I'm not too worried about power creep, to be honest. It's gonna be wild at first, but it'll be a good insane, dude. I feel overwhelmed already. Like the fact that I have to learn so many factions, I'm like, oh god, it's stressing me out. But I'm excited too, you know? It's like, yeah. Yeah, I don't think demons will be OP. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know. I'm sure there's gonna be 4 demon factions, right? I think one of them will be, like 1 or 2 of them will be OP, and one of them will probably be dog shit. It'll probably be Khorne. Khorne will probably be the worst. Just like, it's how it always is, right? Like, they don't have magic, like, they're strong in melee, but like, you know, that's their gimmick, right? Whereas like, resiliency and tankiness is like always a valued stat. Like, magic is always valuable, and like, speed and hard-hitting stuff is always good for Slaanesh, right? But like, Khorne's whole gimmick is like, I'm interested to see how they do Khorne. Yeah. All right, guys, so if we take a look here at ye old Skaven, we have the Skaven Slave front battle line backed up by Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers and a bunch of Clan Rat Spears. Triple Rat Ogre, double Mortar, it looks like. No, Mortar plus Globadier. And where is the leadership kit for the Skaven? Yeah, here it is. We got the Packmaster, yeah, Throt to uproot the Fey Enchantress, and a Plague Priest as well. So that is it. Yeah, Tzeentch, I actually think that Nurgle will be good. Because he's tanky. Like, you know, tankiness is always valued. I think Slaanesh could be like a toss-up, but Tzeentch for sure will be good, right? Like, come on, like Tzeentch. Yeah. The first faction in Warhammer 3 I play for campaign will probably be Nurgle and Kislev. I'll do 2 campaigns back-to-back. I'll live stream one, and I'll just record the other one. And then in multiplayer, though, I'm going to focus very heavily on Kislev, because my wife is Polish. And on top of that, I'm going to be learning Nurgle, like, competitively. Like, I'm going to go super hard in the paint in those factions. Because by then, I should be able to play a lot more, too. Because my hands are slowly healing. I had really bad nerve damage that I got surgically repaired. And it's, like, slowly getting better. But, it could be a couple years. But by the time Game 3 comes out, I think I'll be able to play a lot. Which I'm very excited for. Yep. I mean, the Greater Demons will be very interesting. Okay, Ice Power saying he has 1 extra spear. It's fine. I mean, they're both good to play. Whatever. If they both agree on it, I'm cool with it. Khorne, yeah, Khorne will be interesting, for sure. Skaven are certainly a really fun faction to play. I play them a lot in tournaments. Very powerful. A lot of utility, a lot of dynamic builds you can bring. Yeah, Nurgle's going to be... Like, I can foresee Nurgle having, like, low armor, but very high HP. Like, that's how they're tanky, right? With regeneration. So, like, you can burst them down really hard with, like, you know, crossbows and, like, arrows and things like that, but they'll have a big HP pool, and if you don't quite finish them, they can, like, regenerate. Because in tabletop, Nurgle has healing. They have Fleshy Abundance, they have, you know, Death Guard has ways of, like, healing models. Like, it's, yeah. Kislev is Polish? Basically, yes. Kislev is more or less, Kislev is basically Slav culture. It's like Warhammer Slav edition. Yeah. So for the Bretonnians, very standard, mass archers, cavalry, battle pilgrim frontline. Now, battle pilgrims are quite resilient for sure. They can get wrecked pretty bad by the globes and the poison, but they have high leadership and really can support the Fey Enchantress in those like long-term grinds and things like that. So we will see indeed. The battle rages on. The mortar is getting in position to start nuking the battle pilgrims, and here you can see Imperator going to be getting a big surround. Over on the backside, the Knights of the Realm are swooping around the back of the army. And of course, you know, good for Bretonnia to get the surround. You definitely want to collapse that Skaven leadership. They are not going to be enjoying being surrounded and lanced and all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure Kislev has like influences from a bunch of different Slavic cultures though. So, yeah, pretty cool. I mean, obviously the winged lancers are like the winged hussars of the Poland of old. You know, Anna Lady Turn could talk a lot about that stuff, but I'm a little bit unfamiliar in terms of like the, you know, all the good stuff there. So Rat Summon going down. Clan Rats in front of the Holy Warden's a very good play, because now what you could do is you could actually mortar them, and here you can see that Imperator is going to be running. Mortars tearing into the Battle Pilgrims, doing some huge damage, and now the Fey Enchantress Goon Squad. Oh no, the little rat's alone! The poor Plague Priest being hunted. Where are his big buddies? Because if the Plague Priest dies early, I can assure you Imperator will win this game. If that Plague Priest gets broken and chased off the battlefield, there is going to be a disaster here for the Rats. They really want their summons, and it looks like the Plague Priest is able to get away. So though it was slightly disastrous, it's not the end of the world. Now here the Holy Wardens continue to get nuked. Globadiers throwing into the blob here, and there are some Skaven slaves, but that's totally fine. The Poison Wing Globes are just basically nuking into the Holy Wardens. Good value across the board, but of course the Battle Pilgrims will eventually get through the Skaven slave lines, and in the back, Imperator is really setting up here for a big, juicy charge. So Knights of the Realm kind of posturing at the back. It looks like one unit of the Knights of the Realm was crumped by some ogres, but it did kind of create an opening. And now Imperator is going to be taking this. So though the Skaven are going to react in time, get back here and shut down these Knights of the Realm, by abandoning the front line, these Globes and the Bretonnian frontline push is now going to be more aggressive. It looks like there are going to be some Rat summons going down. And on top of that, some good Plague Monk summons by the Rat caster are able to push into the Archer line, which seems pretty good, though the summon does wear off there. Now, Balance of Power is a little bit, it's pretty even at this point, honestly. A little bit Skaven favored, maybe. They've gotten a fair amount of the Knights down, and but, you know, the Bretonnia is now into the cookie jar a bit, right? The Battle Pilgrims are finally starting to advance and push through the chaff screens, which were basically holding them off. And now we get into the real nitty-gritty of this matchup, which is more or less just like the haggard duel between Throt, his Packmaster, and the two Paladins and the Fey Enchantress. Granted, this is a really, really good start for Throt. Here, he's popped his Creature Killer, he has Anti-Large. Fey Enchantress on the Unicorn is actually the same speed as the Pack Rat dudes. That's actually very important for the Fey Enchantress, because if she gets caught and killed here, that could be game blouses for sure, in the words of the Dave Chappelle skit. You guys get the picture here, so... Yeah, Fey Enchantress juking well, though. She pulls into a bunch of Spearmen at Arms and gets away, so she is able to escape. A huge, huge boon here for the forces of Bretonnia, but the Rats are pushing back. Globadiers, Mortars, excuse me, were able to stabilize back here. They have Ogres defending them. These Globadiers are back online. And the Bretonnian army is being dragged through the mud very much. Here, the Clan Rats able to push into the Archer line. Only one functional Archer here, but Bretonnia going for the gooning attempt. Certainly a good play. Kill that Plague Priest, get rid of the summons. Really prepare yourself for the later stages of the game and trying to win through Mortis Engine play. He really needs to get these mortars, though, because if he doesn't shut down the mortars and the globes, what's going to happen is the Skaven will just form a box around them, and they'll just, you know, cackle and have a good time. Big erect charge coming in. Knights of the Realm lancing in to the old Rats here, the Globadiers. Globadiers actually have a shit ton of armor, too. They have 100 armor, which makes them very durable against such charges, but even still, a fully erect Bretonnian charge is probably going to do the trick, and those Poison Wing Globadiers might break or might hold. Man, that's pretty wild. Pit Fighters of Helm's Deep pushing in to screen out the cavalry. Very, very good unit in this matchup. They are immune to psychology, so you know, if somebody brings Lewin or something, they can hold their own. But I mean, just in most matchups, they're really, really good. Yeah, big ugly blob fight. We do get the Rat Ogre summon, plus the Shot Caller is activated there, and we have the Packmasters going at it with the Enchantress and the Paladins, and it looks like the Packmasters are able to isolate one Paladin away from his buddy, and this Paladin is going to be just getting mulched on by these rats. Actually terror routed right now and wavering and really trying to escape, but I don't think that Throt is going to take his rat teeth off the heels here of the Paladin. And it looks like your boy Ice Power Total War is going to be pulling ahead in this game in a very serious way, as most of the cavalry was dismantled. The archer line is very much in disarray back here, and the Packmaster Throt Goon Squad has been able to outvalue the Enchantress and her Paladin Goon Squad, and that really is, you know, one of the big deciding factors. Like, how does that fight go? You know, and that's basically what wins the game. But aside from that, really good play protecting his mortars, which I'm sure got good value. 1700, 1776, quite a time. And then, of course, the Globadiers paid for themselves. Rat Ogres did great with the spear support, but really, yeah, Throt and the Packmaster, though they didn't get a ton of value, they still were able to kill the Paladin, taking away the Enchantress's ability to be disruptive, and then from there, they did their thing. Well played, fun game. So let's update the scorecard here. Ice Power up to a relatively quick start here, my friends. He's up to a 2-0. If he wins this next game, he will be closing out the series with a bang. And he'll be going on to join Felcon and Alfredinho in the grandest of finals. So next we'll do the Tower of Hoth map set. All right. There you have it. The rats, Skaven are very scary. Trebuchets, no, not really. Honestly, the Cavs just had a lot of inefficient engagements too. Yeah, like in the Archer line was getting like torn apart by summons. There was a couple things that went south. Yeah. What would be the best matchup if it were ROR only? Ooh, that's a tough question. Holy shit. Who has really good ROR? I don't know. Empire has a couple bad ones. You have like the White Wolves, and you have like the Death Jacks. You have like the Hellstorm Rocket Battery. Definitely not the Empire. Skaven could be scary, right? You have like Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers. You have Council Guard. You have the Hell Pit Abomination ROR. You have the Rat Ogre ROR. You have the Jezzail ROR, you have Rattling Gunner ROR. Like, yeah, like, Skaven ROR are really scary. Thieves Hideout is a good map. No, it's not. You're trolling, bro. Come on. ODM is great, but I got to root for Ice Power. He's improved a ton over the last year. All right, look at this. We got some drama. Some clan drama going on. What would taste worse, a Skaven slave or a Bretonnian peasant? I mean, probably the Skaven slave. Yeah. We'll see. Who knows? It's a question of questions here. Remember the match where Felcon took all of the Chaos RORs? I don't remember that, Evan. When was that? Was that like a long time ago? Must have been. All right. So now they're doing their picks and bans here. Map is set, and we will see. Potentially the last game here. Could be a quickish stream. I think, yeah, like all the series went Ice Power 1-2-0. Imperator 1-2-0, and this could be, yeah. Usually these streams go like 2.5, 3 hours, but I mean, at this rate, we'll be finishing pretty soon. Does my wife play Total War Warhammer? No, not really. She likes it. She enjoys like the lore and the art and like all the characters and stuff, but she hasn't played it too much. I think when Game 3 comes out, she might be inspired to play like Kislev or Slanesh, which she really likes. Lady Turin and I play Valheim together. Yeah. We play Valheim. It's called Valheim, right? Yeah, let me double check that. We love that game. It's so fun. So, me, Lady Turin, and Italian Spartacus play Valheim quite often. We just killed the swamp boss in that game. The three of us. We killed the big Chungus in the swamp, and now we're going to the mountains to fight the drakes and start gathering some silver ore and all that sort of good stuff. So, Jordan, your wife is Polish also. Yeah, Polish Wife Club. Hell yeah. So we'll see what they pick here. We'll see. Who's the top Total War Warhammer player? That's hard to say. There's a couple of players who I could certainly name. Like, I could probably give you like top 3, but top one's tricky. But it ebbs and flows so much too, you know. Some delicious water. Valheim is really fun. It's worth it. It's great. Have we taken a troll? Oh yeah, we took I took a troll on like right when I started because I just got a bow and basically just kited it around for like 20 minutes and took it down. Like the troll hide armor was some of the first armor I made. They're just sitting here staring at each other. All right, so we got Vampire Coast coming out for Ice Power Total War against Imperator's pick here. We will see. Hursted Amos just memeing. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, it's tricky because, like, if you're talking about, like, top players in the community, it's, it depends if you're talking about at this very moment or, like, over the course of the entire history of Total War Warhammer, because then it becomes much more, you know, some different names come up. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. Yeah, I wouldn't want to, like, even, like, say it. I can certainly say that, like, Falcon, yeah, Falcon is, like, one of the scariest players out there. When he's playing at his best, he's quite terrifying. His, like, game knowledge and, like, comfort in, like, every single situation is pretty crazy. But have you one-shot a troll yet? No, definitely not. I've been one-shotted by a troll before when I wasn't paying attention, when I was, like, wearing rags in that game. Yeah. Yeah, 40k orcs. Yeah, they're cool. I dig the 40k orcs. I always like every orc player I meet in tabletop 40k. They're always like such such good dudes. Their whole army's like super like kit bashed because like all the orc models are so haggard and janky. It's like, yeah, it's really funny. We'll find out, as a matter of fact, too. We got the world championship right now with like over 700 people in it. So let's hold off on exhibiting judgment until that happens, right? Yeah. Because that's gonna be something. I thought about doing some Valheim streams. I think once the game gets like, I'm gonna do a whole playthrough on my own, and then after that, like I'll let it sit for a couple months until they add some new features, and then I'll come back and do like a Valheim playthrough on the channel with you guys. Is Fistek still around? Yeah, he is. I'm sure he's playing in the World Championship, and then on top of that, I have to play against Fistek. So it's me and King of the Dead versus Fistek and Evenstar in the team tournament. So, you know, Team Hagguard. I haven't casted some of the next rounds in that because, like, a lot of folks on my team just forgot to save replays, so it's, like, super disconjointed. But I'm going to be casting the... I'll still cast the replays that I did get as, like, individual replays on my channel, but... I'll be casting, so basically Team Hagguard was able to win all its matches in the initial round of the team tournament, so now we're in the semifinals, and we're playing against Fistek and Evenstar's team with Viking Cat, and I think it's Viking Cat's team with, yeah, I don't know who's the team owner, but, so we're playing them, and it's going to be scary, because, yeah, they obviously are going to be very tough. Yeah. Is Valheim good solo? I would recommend playing with someone. It still can be soloed, but honestly, like playing with like one other person is the way to do it. Or, you know, a group, like at least one other person. Yeah. All right, so we got Lizardmen from Imperator versus Ice Power Total Wars. I'm curious how he ended up there, because he picked Vampire banning Dwarves, and then Imperator counterpicked Lizardmen, which I feel like this is super coast favored. But I'm really curious to see what Imperator has in his back pocket. You're the captain, Viking? Okay, got it. Yeah. I think we had a match today. One of our guys played one of your guys. I can't remember who. But yeah, that's going to be tough because Fistek and Evenstar, I mean, they're both really strong players. So that's going to be scary. And plus, they're both good at Undead. I'm sure there's going to be some nasty combos they have. Isn't Valheim a shared world? So basically, Valheim has a server system. So when you go on and start a server, like you can have your friends, but as soon as you log off, it'll crash the server for everyone. You can set up dedicated servers like you can for Minecraft and other games. So that's a thing. But yeah, it's really fun. So basically, you know, your base stays when you log off. You can jump on over to other people's, you know, servers and things like that. Yeah, very neat stuff indeed. All right, guys, so here we are in the potentially last game. Right now, Imperator is on the ropes. He needs to get the win here to get back in the series. Otherwise, every single game in today's tournament will be a sweep, which it would appear to be the case. We've had 2-0s in the previous matches, and now we are here in the finals. And we'll take a look here at the Vampire Coast Army. It's going to be zombies and bombers. Bombers, of course, really good against skinks and Saurus. We got handgun mobs, it looks like 3 in total, which will be set up here in just a moment. And as far as artillery goes, we have a single carronade. Carronades, of course, very good against slans, good against lizardmen monsters, any number of targets. You name it. How do dedicated servers work? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because we only play when I'm online. So Lady Turin and Spartacus and I log on when I'm online, and we just log off at the same time. So, yeah. And now for the forces here of Imperator. He's got a massive wide line here of the Skink Cohort battle line with javelins. He's got Saurus, he's got red-crested skinks, he's got all sorts of shit, man. And on top of that, we do have the dreaded Slan Mage of Life. I would imagine this Slan is going to be waddling through the forest up until he gets to, you know, the enemy army so he can avoid the cannon fire. Double Saurus Scarvet, interesting choice. Obviously a countermeasure against, and I don't mean interesting as in like, oh, that's interesting, like it's bad. Like actually functional, right? Good against crabs, good against Lostra, potentially decent against Luther if they can 2v1 him. And yeah, just like a super wide army, basically. Only 1 Chameleon Skink. Usually I'd like to see a couple more of those in this matchup, but yeah, it's looking good, looking fine. The Slan obviously just gonna, oh, it's a Slan of high magic, I'm sorry. Yeah, so he's there to Tempest Luther. That's pretty much it. Yep, that's very meta. And that's that. So what size? We plan large army sizes. The funds that are used are 12,400. It's the standard quick battle size and everything like that. Yeah, large is the best for sure, in my humble opinion. Good luck, have fun, man. The battle is soon to be underway. Luther Harkin taking a very wide angle here. Though I would imagine as soon as Luther sees that there's some stuff hiding in the forest, he'll fly over there to go investigate. Only 1 Chameleon Skink, though. I'm quite concerned about that. I mean, I feel like with Tempest, you want a couple. So, like, if you do catch Luther in a Tempest, you can just, like, nail him with a bunch of skinks. But in this case, he only has 1. But, you know, for that price, he basically gets a much wider army. So, yeah. Oh, okay. Ice Power Total War in chat says, oh, look at this, guys. Anticity, man. He says, shout out to my boy Anticity for the build. And then Imperator says, uh-oh. This says, Anticity, why you do me like this? Says Imperator, your clanmate. And then Ice Power Total War of Clan XMD is cackling with the evil Palpatine laugh, I'm sure, triggering in the distance there. I love it, man. See, this is the extent of the drama we get in this community, which is great. And it's not actually drama, you know? That's the best part about it. I love that, dude. That's so funny. Yeah, well, we'll see, guys. Well, yeah, if you're talking about campaign and multiplayer, I'm sure it's different on either side, right? Like, multiplayer clearly is large is the way, but I don't know about campaign. What, like, extra large? Like, you know, can't say. Which factions? Well, we have Lizardmen and Coast here. Luther Harkin flying around. Of course, Skink Cohort Javelins can unleash some decent fire up into the old boy up in the sky. A little bit precarious here. This Lizardmen army, a little bit alone. Like, what's probably going to happen is Luther might actually engage here and, like, bring the dogs to, like, terror out and chase them off. Because a lot of the lizard army is up in the forest, like most of the value, right? Like the Saurus and then the Scarvets and the Slan and the Toad. All that sort of stuff. Clan Betrayal. He's an XMT spy. Oh, yeah. Oh, Anticity says, Imperator took him out. It's revenge. Okay, fair play. All is fair in love and war, as they say. Yes. Crazy stuff. Saurus moving up. Bombers aren't what they used to be. I found in my experience that bombers were extremely oppressive for Vampire Coast before the DLC changes, but then they got nerfed, and they still do good, but they're not like something that's like, oh my god, I can't like attack the Vampire Coast front line anymore. Because it used to be like that. It was like, I legit cannot attack your front line because of bombers without getting wrecked. They still do a lot of damage, but it's not as oppressive as it was before, which I think is great. So yeah, Skink's going for more or less a surround, and that might not be a bad idea either. Just like don't engage in the front line, like walk around the front line. It's a little bit, you know, kind of circuitous, but yeah, it's certainly not terrible. Now Luther Harkin is in amongst these Skinks, and looks like the Saurus warriors with shields are piling in. He might take a little bit of damage. And now the Skinks are pressuring in on the far side. The Lizards do have these Saurus getting ready to move in, and the gun line to the back, quite well deployed for sure. They all have this like kind of symmetry where they can cover one another. Not symmetry, but you know, kind of formation, I should say. And yeah, Saurus should be engaging here in a moment. Bomber's taking a little bit of poke and stroke, and the Skinks are absorbing the bomber fire. But yeah, Saurus will dominate zombie deckhand mobs in combat pretty well. Luther Harkin did some okay damage against these Skinks and Saurus there. And now the guns are really shooting, but it looks like, ooh, this is a little bit of a ballsy play. I don't know if I agree with this by Imperator. He's sending in the Scarvets, a little bit unsupported, and they're going to get Last Samurai pretty hard. Now, Soul Quench going down does kill a single deck gunner, certainly not good value there. And now these Scarvets are on top of the deckhand mobs, which is good. And we do have the cohort plus skinks coming in. So with proper pressure back here and using an Apotheosis to top off the Scarvet, that could really salvage this backline dive. Because right now, the Saurus Scarvet, something that costs probably close to 1,000 gold, is going to be just getting nuked. And that's like a huge disastrous loss, right? 480 HP. Might be able to heal it, but as it retreats, it'll probably be picked off here and it will be made to pay the price. And yeah, now that like the big issue is that if the Scarvets are gone, then what can kill Luther Harkin? Not much. I mean, Saurus Spears and Tempest is kind of cute, but Luther's just going to go in balls deep here. The other Scarvet is Last Samurai horribly. This one is going to turn around to fight Luther, but like he's going to lose. Luther is an incredibly scary duelist. And the Scarvets in a 2v1 scenario can be very strong here, but like one-on-one, just going fisticuffs with the big man himself, that is not going to be a good time. So right here, we do have Hand of Glory popped, giving a little bit of a melee attack buff to those guys. Kind of useful, but at the end of the day, the gun line is too happy. One thing you do see often in this matchup is Pterodons. Pterodons flying over, like 4 of them diving the gun line. That can be extremely strong, but right here, man, this Saurus Scarvet is trying to put the game on his back, as the balance of power does go even more into the favor of Ice Power Total War right now. Skinks are pushing in, going after the deck gunners, getting Last Samurai. This is truly a Last Samurai, just primitive technology just being gadded down here by literal cannons or hand cannons, I guess. But they do get on top of the deck gunners. Holy shit, they got they done got halved. Yeah, they're down to 33 models. Those guys are going to be taking some serious damage for sure. Ice Power Total War really on a tear here, guys. The Saurus Scarvet is broken up here, as the Salon is forced into melee contact to try and save the Scarvet. That's how you know things are getting grim, when the big buttery toad is forced to go save his like prolific combat warrior here. It's a grim tiding. And you know, honestly, I think if Imperator had kept his Saurus Scarvets back and just done the slow push with his infantry, he would be in really good shape right now. Like, honestly, the Saurus are moving in, like all the Vampire Coast infantry is dead, more or less. And there's still a shit ton of Saurus, but it's not going to matter because Luther Harkin is going to go Super Saiyan. If he had just sat back with his Scarvets, taken a very conservative approach outside of gun range, like, I honestly think he would have been fine. He would have been fine. I think Imperator is doing very well aside from that. Now, could there be a comeback here? Maybe an Apotheosis on top of the Scarvet to keep him from getting crumbs. The cannonballs are shooting the Salon. Saurus are piling in, but Luther Harkin just giving the biz to the Scarvet. Very, very tough stuff indeed. Yeah, good play here by the cohort of Sotek, really causing quite a bit of disruption. Look at the amount of Saurus moving in, too. There are some skinks back here in tactical reserve, which I'm sure we'll see in due time. Apotheosis going down. What really needs to happen probably is a big Tempest. Like, if Luther goes back up in the sky, you need to see a Tempest. And Imperator coming in for the countercharge. Chameleon Skink's also doing a very good job, and this actually could be a play here, guys. The Scarvet able to get a little bit of healing. The Battletoad is dodging all those cannonballs. I guess he's using some, like, Force Prophecy to see where they're coming from. And look at this, guys. Could this be a comeback? Crazy. And now if Luther goes up in the sky, if the Battletoad has a Tempest, that could be enough to do it. Holy shit. Luther getting trapped there and losing so much HP. That's pretty wild, man. That Scarvet is hot on his tail. Now the cannon is shut down. This cannon is going to die to some really haggard skinks here. They're going to go down, man. And the Saurus are bumping and grinding all over the front line, doing great work. Luther Harkin does get some healing, it looks like, so an invocation going down. But the Chameleon Skinks are staying ahead of him and making sure he can't take off, while the Scarvet just continues to chase him, being healed by Apotheosis. Luther probably going to try and pull through his own units here and escape, and yeah, he does that. So good play. Luther is able to escape there, but now we need to see a Tempest from the Lizards if they want to really, really kind of seal the punch here. But yeah, great play by Imperator, man. It was looking like an absolutely one-sided beating in the beginning when he lost his Scarvets, but now he's been able to kind of turn this game around a little bit, and maybe he'll be able to work some magic. Scarvet does overextend a little bit. It's now fighting Luther one-on-one, which is a very dicey situation. The Salon is nearby, but the Skinks are applying poison too, which is very good. Putting Luther's weapon strength down to 368, making this Scar Veteran much tankier. Man, Chameleon Skinks are just absolute raid bosses. And it looks like the Children of the Old Ones gonna bring it back, man. We got a match on our hands. I'm excited. I wanted to cast some more Warhammer today. And it looks like we're gonna be able to. As the Apotheosis going down, this Scarvet avenging his lost brother who got gadded down by the Vampire Coast gun line. But yeah, like the slow push, man, it worked. And Luther getting surrounded, just, you know, making him pay the troll toll. And yeah, there's probably a Tempest sitting here too. So if Luther tries to go back up in the sky, I would imagine he's going to get Tempested and either forced back onto the ground or killed in the process by the Tempest. So very, very tricky situation for sure. Scarvet is dead. Very scary, but there's no way. There's too many Saurus. Luther cannot kill this many Saurus. especially this one. 75 models here. That is meaty. There's going to be a Tempest. Immediately, Ice Power tries to land because that does stop the Tempest damage. But in doing so, he's coming to the Chameleon Skinks and the Saurus, so it's kind of a double-edged blade. The Tempest is a guaranteed kill, though, but he gets there. Man, that was crazy. Holy shit. Hola, Skink. That really looked like an early game throw with the Scarvet, but he managed to come back. Beautiful play. Luther with 2100 value. The Battletoad 500. 1800 on that Scarvet. Pretty beautiful. Saurus all did really good and we're quite healthy. Yeah, man. Well played. Well played. The comeback. Give us more Warhammer. Give it to us, precious. GG. Well played. Both armies were great, honestly. I like them both. I just, yeah. That was a very intense game. All right, so I don't want to put the fate of the series on Troll Country or like a super small map that's like kind of trolly. Sword of Torgald's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I like this map. It's fine. Oh man, what a series! Holy shit, man, that was so good. Rip. Yeah, the doggos had a problem. If those doggos could have killed the chameleons, that would have honestly been a whole different game. Yeah. The great plan. Luther did not get his lizard trinkets. Not today. All right, one sec, guys. I need to grab some water and prepare for the next match. All righty. All right, we're back. Jeff in chat asks, Turin, are you still planning to create maps? Yeah, I might work on some maps, but first I want to get a confirmation from CA that they would actually use maps before we put like a team together to make some. The tournament rules are posted in my Discord. You can see them in the tournament rules section. So yeah. Inticity with the sabotage build. Oh, I love it. That's so funny. Like 4D chess. Oh yes. While I was waiting for the stream to start, I played a couple games of chess and just got wrecked. Oh my god. There was like a game where I was up by like so many pieces and I just made some haggard blunder and got checkmated. I was so sad. I used to actually be good at chess when I was like a young, like early high school. Now I just suck. I just suck. I'm just like absolute trash at it. I can't like plan ahead. I just play like every like 11-year-old plays and just like protect it. I'm like, okay, everything's protected. Let's just sit and hope we survive. Yeah. It's wild, man. It's wild. So let's go ahead and get back to business. All right. Now the entire stream gets to see us play factions we're not very good at. The noob quick battle stream has begun. All right, well, should be fun. I'm sure Chaos Dwarves will come as a DLC in Warhammer 3 for sure. They'll come. They have to. I mean, come on. You can't all be Beth Harmon, I know. I'm like the potato. Like, I can't think of a game where I actually like felt proud of winning lately. Like, the games that I win are just because my opponent makes some huge haggard blunder and I just like, it's like there's no way I can lose. Like, I can't think of a game where I'm like, wow, I really got that guy with like a clever plan, you know? My dad was a serious chess player. He was like I don't remember what it was exactly, but in the state of New York, there was like a youth championship for like those under like 12 and under or something, and he got second place. My dad is really good at chess, so I used to just get crushed as a youngin. Yeah. Did the stream have like a drop or something? No, it looks like we're okay. So yeah, players are doing their picks and bans right now. So we're just hanging out, enjoying each other's company, all that sort of good stuff. What is that? The intercontinental ballistic variation? That's not actually a thing, is it? You're describing me in Total War Warhammer multiplayer? Yeah. You only win because they leave their lord as fresh fish for you? Yeah. Been there, man. Yeah, Ricidamos, for sure. I mean, I do okay. I do okay. How often do you eat cake? Oh, God, like once a year, maybe? Yeah, not often, dude. If I'm gonna treat myself, it's gonna be the donuts. We have like this really cool donut place down the street that does like donuts that don't have dairy in them, or like milk and butter, so I can actually eat them. And I like to go ham there to celebrate every now and then. Yeah. Yeah, it's been fun though. I've been enjoying playing some chess. It's like just a good way to kill time and when you're waiting for things to like render on YouTube and all that, so. All right, so Norsca banning Bretonnia. So Imperator going Norsca, and we'll see what Ice Power Total War picks. We are on the Sword of Torgald, which is actually a quest battle map for Norsca. So very, very fitting for sure. Yeah. Soul Stealer Blob is how you win with Dark Elves. That's typically how they do it anyways. That's how the best Dark Elves do it. Yeah, I gotta up my chess game. I gotta up it, man. Maybe I'll do a stream someday, so you guys can just all judge me and stuff, you know. Just cackle at how terrible I am. I'm sure a lot of you guys would like backseat chess drive. Did you end up watching Next in the end? I'm not sure what you're. Oh, is that no? I haven't watched the Nicolas Cage movie yet. Yeah, the one that you recommended. So Vampire Counts versus Norsca. It's a pretty god awful matchup to watch. You know, the best part is though won't take much camera work. You basically just sit over a blob and watch Wulfric plus a Warshrine Mammoth just bump and grind against vampires for like 20 minutes. Yeah. Soul Stealer is the only Lord of the Dark spell, probably so. Yeah. Yeah, Sword of Torgald's weird though. This map is I have a bug with it. I don't know if other like folks who try and record games do, but when I try and record cast a replay from Sword of Torgald, it's always like buggy and laggy. It's very strange. Yeah, Samurai Warrior. This is the grand finals. Currently, Ice Power Total War is up 2-1 against Imperator, and we got quite a scrap on our hands. Been some really good games. We had some Skaven, we had some Dark Elves, we had some Beastmen. We had an insane Lizardman game just now, which was awesome. And yeah, now we're here in the grand finals. We're here in the grand finals. Yeah. I could watch like some guides on how to get better at chess and stuff. I just like to play it casually though. I'm not like looking to be the Dark Lord. Right now the hobby I picked up is cooking, so I'm trying to learn how to cook like some delicious stuff. I've really mastered like the breakfast potatoes. I also learned how to make some really good sauteed mushrooms with like a medium rare steak. A couple things I'm working on. God, just talking about. I learned how to make some pretty good teriyaki sauce too. For like a chicken teriyaki, yeah, which is pretty bomb. Oh man, just talking about all this is making me hungry. What would you say is the worst mirror match? Probably Vampire Counts. Oh, for sure. I think Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts is such a miserable shit match. It's so funny because we had a single faction tournament like I don't know, like a month ago, and we had Even Star get to the finals against Reginald Puggington, and it was just like the most awful thing to cast and watch. No fault to the players, of course, but like it's just not fun. It's just like build RNG, just like cheesy sniping, just like blobs. It's like everything that's just like, you know, yeah. Did they say what the bans were? He picked Norsca and banned Bretonnia. Yeah. What about second breakfast potatoes? Dude, I'm down for that. I am down. Vampire Count Mirror's Legend? Dude, it's so bad. It's so miserable, bro. All right, so let's look at the vampire build. We got zombies. We have Blood Knights with double Direwolf to chase shit off the battlefield. Double Vampire Gorilla. Double Banshee with Heinrich Himmler? No, Isabella von Karstein, which she's pretty good with Banshees because she has the free regrowth, basically, like overcasted regrowth. It improves vigor and heals for 2,000 HP. So basically, like, It heals for more HP than the Banshees even have. So you can like let them get on death's bed and heal those bad boys up to full, or bad girls, whatever the hell you want to call them, bad girls, up to full health. So pretty cool. Sometimes you see Heinrich Kemmler. You can even see a Wild Gorst every now in this matchup. It's pretty funny for sure. But yeah, so for the for ye old Norskins, not too many Berserkers. I'm actually a little bit concerned for this army. Typically, if you bring low leadership infantry against vampires, they really just wreck you. But in this case, we do have the Marauders, 1 Berserker, 2 Marauders in the back, Famir and Ice Trolls too. Okay. We got a Firecaster, some Marauder Horsemen, and Wulfric, the big boy, on his Mammoth. A very different build for sure. A very different build for sure. And here we are. You want the Haggard Mirrors? No, please. Don't do it. Have you guys seen that meme of like the guy and like there's like a girl coming onto him and it's like the guy's like 75 years old. He's like, no, don't do it. That's like my favorite shit lately. Whenever I like am just on Skype, or whenever I'm on Skype with Italian Spartacus, whenever I'm on Discord, I just like play that in the background nonstop. No, Heinrich Kemmler is the name of the character, Thomas. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, no, don't do it. Oh god, that clip just gets me dying. If you guys haven't seen that, just go to YouTube and type in no, don't do it guy, and it'll come up. It's so funny. It's so funny. Yeah, the Ice Trolls are interesting for sure. The Banshees are going to be a pain, but he does have Flaming Sword of Ruin, so he can give fire damage to Wulfric and like literally 3-shot the Banshees if he's really on point. So we'll see how it goes. Anyways, Marauder Horsemaster is scooting up, trying to get some poke on the Direwolves. Yeah, no, people are typing that in chat. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, Thomas. It sounds very similar, so it's a tricky one. Yeah, you guys know that one? Oh god, it's so funny. Yeah, sauteed mushrooms and breakfast potatoes, exactly. That's my favorite thing to cook right now. It's so good. So Horsemaster's getting a little bit of value, actually. Look at that. Horsemasters move in there, and they absolutely snipe Isabella von Karstein, forcing out an early Chalice. Okay, that is actually really, really big here. Because basically, now there's no Chalice on cooldown for the Banshees. So what I would do if I were Imperator is I'd move in with Wulfric, go absolutely balls deep after those Banshees with the Flaming Sword of Ruin, and try and cheese one out before that comes off cooldown. Yeah. That old man's body was a Temple of Sigmar. No, don't do it. It's like talking to Chaos or something. Oh god, that's so funny. Stop. Stop. Making me laugh. That was really good. I'm just like hungry and delirious. I ate breakfast at like 7 a.m. today, so it's been like what? Oh my god, yeah, quite some time. So the Mammoth is gonna countercharge the Blood Knights, which isn't bad. As long as he has like infantry buffering and he doesn't get surrounded, he takes out a couple Blood Knights, but now he's gonna be charged by the Banshees. So this is where you would pop the big, juicy, Flaming Sword of Ruin. You're going to get it on your Trolls, your Berserkers. Fight or Die is activated, but where is that sword? Because the Banshees aren't like the most escapable unit. You might be able to pile in. Granted, Famir do magic damage also, so you have a couple options here. So now the Marauders charging up the hill against the zombies should be able to win those fights. We do have the Famir with great weapons in the front, clubbing away, taking these zombies to pound land for sure. And yeah, it's going, man. It's going. Premier Balefiend a little bit overextended, but now being countercharged by the Vargulfs, and looks like there's going to be an overcasted Burning Head. Does it hit the Sternsman? That is the question. Looks like it does. Great value against the Sternsman. Also roasts a couple zombies on the tail end. Now, as far as the balance of power goes, actually looking pretty good for Norsca early on. Blood Knights are charging, but it's kind of a weird blunted charge. They get a partial engagement against the 69 Berserkers. That's what she said. But on top of that, they don't make like a super square connection. Norsca quite happy in this blob fight here, but you know, so too are the vampires, right? This Premier Balefiend is a little bit overextended. There's a chance the Vargulfs and Banshees could kind of isolate him and actually take that character out, which would be quite catastrophic. Wulfric definitely needs to stop attacking these zombies, and I guess the Graveguard's fine, but he needs to try and goon out like one of the Banshees or those characters here, and this Balefiend needs to kind of get back through its formation right now, because this could be a little bit tricky indeed. Yeah, the Chalice being used early, a little bit dicey, but not the worst play in the world. I mean, it still did probably heal over 1,000 HP on that character, and we will see how it all goes. Now, Norscan Trolls and Famir great weapons getting in there and just kind of bumping and grinding, and honestly, this is probably fine for Norsca if they can clear out all the chaff and supporting elements and then just kind of surround the vampiric monsters in the endgame. That's not bad. So Marauders pushing in, intercepting the Direwolves, but the Blood Knights are waiting on the other side. This could be a big catch here for Ice Power Total War as he's trying to corral the Horsemasters. And if he can kill the Horsemasters, that takes a ton of pressure off of his big Vargals, right? The Horsemasters have really good stopping power and certainly hit quite hard indeed. Bubba's Big Blast! Is Pancakes versus Waffles a mirror match? No, that's like a sub-faction. That's like having like Avalorn versus High Elves. It's different enough that it's not like awful. You guys get the pictures. You see, Hadri's with the exact same comment, dude. Great minds think alike, man. Good stuff. Anyways, Wulfric still got fight or die in pretty good shape. Graveguard are getting busted down. It honestly looks like Norsca is doing pretty good with a very different build, too. Normally, you always see the double Mammoth leadership blob, but here you do get another Sea Fang going through and tearing through those Sternsmen. And the Famir, and honestly, I can't believe the Trolls are still here, too. Like, with their crappy leadership against this many spooky vampire monsters, that is incredibly efficient for sure. So Famir Great Weapons now pulling back. Berserkers have moved forward. Sadly, they no longer have 69 models. It's only 64, so the gods weep at this great atrocity here. As Wulfric is now being double clubbed by the Vargal. Certainly a very big advantage here, not in terms of the overall battle, but in terms of this kind of microcosm of a fight. That's really good for ice power. If you can get those two Vargals just gorilla pounding into the big Mammoth, he can eventually wear it down. Man, but that Mammoth hit super hard against those Blood Knights and really, really punished them. But now that the mobility's gone, I mean, there's a couple Blood Knights. There are some Direwolves here. Ice Power really needs to get these Direwolves to pursue the Marauder Horsemasters. Because if they can just sit in the back and shoot, just you know, cackle and throw their javelins into the Vargulf, that is going to take a lot of sweat off the back of the ye old Norskins here. But good play by Ice. Ice, baby. He's able to get those Direwolves. Now the Direwolves are moving in, going after the Horsemasters. Horsemasters honestly could turn and fight, like all three of them, if they turned and countercharged. And then also maybe like pulled a couple around for a surround. Sorry about the lag right now, guys. One of the players might be having a little bit of lag. Hard to say. Or myself. Who knows? I'm a little bit afraid to minimize and check, but it looks like it's not lagging in chat or anything. So we will see. But the Trolls are broken. That is a very, very big catch. There's still 11 of 12 Trolls, nowhere near their healing cap. So the dire Doggos should be able to kind of chase them down. Blood Knights also could get an invocation, perhaps raising a couple models. Isabella von Karstein sitting quite happily, and it actually looks like the vampires are starting to kind of pull ahead a little bit in some respects. The fact that this Famir Balefiend is isolated is very, very rough. That's going to take away the Flaming Sword of Ruin. That's going to get rid of a lot of magic damage, because it itself does magic damage, making it very good against Banshees. But with 3 vampiric single-entity characters just kind of walloping on you here, you're going to have, you're most likely going to have a pretty bad time. So the Famir are still fighting, still confident. Berserkers are grinding. Vampires are rapidly running out of actual infantry. We have 42 skeletons here, a couple zombies around. But as far as actual infantry goes, they're running a little bit on fumes here. Now, that Balefiend of Fire uses the Scroll of Shielding, and Big Chungus Wulfric makes his way back in and is doing his best to kind of intercept and punish these Vargulfs. And looks like I don't know, man. This is a really, really close game. Balance of Power has been pretty much deadlocked for quite some time. Sea Fang going right through the middle. Going to cut through some zombies. It also does hit the Blood Knights, which certainly feels pretty good. Skeleton Warriors here being finished off by Marauders, and the Marauder Horsemen with the Javelins have been able to put some hurt on this Vargulf at least, but now this Gorilla is going out here, going after Wulfric, who's got about 3,800 HP. Vargulfs don't hit super hard. They have a little bit less than 300 weapon strength, it looks like, but Wulfric still doesn't want any part of that, so we will see. We will see indeed. So Vampire Chaff melting down. They more or less just have a couple single entities left, aside from a couple zombies fighting here and there. This Vampire Gorilla is in a little bit of trouble, but it looks like the Horsemasters are very low in ammo. They might not have enough to actually be like a huge difference maker there. The Banshees are critical binding, actually. Man, you know who's been the real hero of this game, I have to say, is this Famir Balefiend of Fire here. He's getting down. Yeah. Oh, hey, Drews, yeah, I'll be casting your group soon for the Legendary Lord Tournament. I think you guys all finished, or maybe there's one person who hasn't played all their games yet, but either way, it's totally fine. So the Wulfric man, Foe Seeker, putting his vigor back up to tired, going to be trying to save that Balefiend. Very, very important. He might have enough Wounds of Magic for another Flaming Sword, which would allow him to potentially Alpha Strike down some of these Banshees. But that being said, the Famir Great Weapons also do magic damage, so when they're able to finally connect, they can do some work. Nice Master of Beguilement going down by Isabella, but it looks like Norsca might actually pull this game out. I mean, they have so much stuff. The vampires are very heavily surrounded. I don't know if Isabella even has enough for summons. Granted, there are some zombies fighting here. Are they actual zombies? I believe that's probably a summon. Looks like it. Wulfric does pull back, but despite looking like he's on death's bed, Wulfric still has like 2,000 plus HP, and this is a really, really big one. Because Imperator was on the first pick here, which means he then got counterpicked by vampire counts. And now, if he's able to win this one, Ice Power is going to be the one getting counterpicked. So for Game 5, Ice Power will have to pick a faction. He'll only have one ban. So depending on the faction range of both of these players, that is a huge, huge decisive factor that could, really play into the late game, especially since Ice Power mentioned that he's running out of factions to play here. Nonetheless, clearly he's been doing pretty well with vampires, but Norsca's coming in with the big boys now. Flaming Sword of Ruin is active. Massive amount of magic damage and fire damage going to be imbued into these bad boys. Those Banshees are holding pretty firm. You just got to make sure that Wulfric doesn't get cheesed or poked down and broken by something. And I think that Norsca probably will be able to take this game, a super scrappy one for sure. And yeah, here comes a big charge from all the Horse Masters, trying to crumble the leadership of these damn Banshees. I'm really surprised. But yeah, we have 8 Famir Great Weapons here. And aside from that, we have another set of 8. So that is magic damage, like I said. Every attack of them does do 95 damage, so that'll connect and potentially break them down. And Wulfric can basically just cycle charge. What I would do, and what I think Imperator is going to do here, is probably just pull around the back and cycle charge Isabella. Stay away from the Banshees. Isabella, it hits relatively hard, but she's also going to take a lot of damage from that Mammoth charge. And here comes the big Chungus, preparing to charge in, but before that, Ice Power knows it's coming and withdraws from the game. A victory going to ODM Imperator here. Guys, we got a 2-2 series, baby. This stream could have potentially been over 30 minutes ago, but here we are with more Warhammer and an awesome series between these two top-tier players. So let us go ahead and update the scorecard and look at some values. Wulfric, 27. Balefiend, 600. Marauder Horseman, 900, 1100, and 700. Pretty good. Holy shit, those Famir did good. Damn, dude. 2,900 value on those great weapons. And 2,000 on those Famir. Hot damn, dude. The Trolls, of course, were just haggard, as Trolls usually are, but Banshees didn't do so hot in terms of value accrued, but they certainly had staying power. Blood Knights almost paid for themselves, and the Vargulf Gorillas, they did okay. Really, those Balefiends, man. That was some good stuff. All right, guys, and let's put them on a very neutral map here for the last one, just so it's you don't want a best of 5 decided on the essence of chaos, right? We can go ahead and do Southern Chaos Wastes. Southern Chaos Waste, correct me if I'm wrong, is the one that isn't a piece of shit, right? Yeah, I think Southern Chaos Waste doesn't have the hill in the middle. The lag didn't approve of the burning head. All right. Here we go. Omar, you need to go to sleep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Anakin. The broadcast shouldn't be laggy for you. Just try refreshing the stream. If there was any lag, it was just player connection lag in that game. So, you want me to look at this photograph? Hold on. I got to look at some other photographs here. All right. Hold on. Dun, 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 dun. What is the standard pick and ban for best of 5 for game 5? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just the one correct. I don't believe it is for best of 5, but let me check. I'm going to double check just to make sure. So let's go to the tournament rules section. We will go to the document for ye old picking and banning. Open that bad boy up. Just give me a second, dudes. We'll hang tight. Okay, so tiebreaker game. That is for... Okay, single draft. Let's see. So even numbered games. Okay, I think... Okay, I think actually, hold on. I believe it is a triple ban. Or triple pick, sorry. So I'm looking at the document here. So basically it says odd number games are pick 1, ban 1, even number games, player 1, and then tiebreaker game, which this is a tiebreaker. So I believe, and it says standard protocol for best of 5 series is to have the player do 1 ban per game leading up to the finals. Although lately it's been used with the double in the beginning. Yeah, okay. So I think it is. All right. They're like, do we even have 3 factions? You definitely do. There's 15 playable factions in this game. So I was a little bit, yeah, I was a little bit wrong about that, which is fine. So we got that covered. Yeah. We confirmed it. We checked the rules. All is good. Ever thought about doing a tournament where each player picks 1 unit at a time? So like a draft, and they can see each other's armies, like a Magic the Gathering draft. That's actually kind of an interesting concept, Vamsy. Yeah, like, but then they can see what their opponents are picking, and they like draft. That would get really strange. Chaos Mirror for the grand finale. All right, so we're on the Southern Chaos Waste. Players are going to pick their goodness here. Now we'll hang out. You want a mirror match, but they just play as Helm and Gorst only? Oh my god, please no. Ben the Barman, I wouldn't mind a Tomb King's mirror. I feel like that'd be acceptable. That'd be like kind of fun to watch. Even though it still has like the annoying undead grindiness about it, it still would be. They have like cavalry, they have archers, they have like melee rush, like they have dynamic lords, that are very different playstyle. I think that could be cool. More factions. You guys want to turn on the OVN Lost Factions mod right now and just like whip out the fat halflings? Get some ye old rooster riders. Yeah, pretty good. Chaos Mirror could be fun. A Chaos Mirror would be interesting. Okay, Tomb Kings, Bretonnia, and Greenskins banning Empire. That's a strong ban because that's one of Imperator's best factions, and he hasn't played Empire yet, so that's a really, really powerful ban there on MP. So now Imperator will... So yeah, Ice Powers picked Tomb Kings, Bretonnia, and Greenskins. Didn't we already see Bretonnia in the series? Did we see Ice Power play Bretonnia earlier? No, somebody played Bretonnia. Maybe it was Imperator. I can't remember. Yeah, no, it was against the Skaven. Anakin, I am too weak. Help me. Turin, how do you think Creative Assembly will handle balancing Ogre Kingdoms? They're just going to have a ton of chaff units. Like, the Ogres will be relatively expensive, but they'll have, like, some, varying choices, but then they're going to have a ton of chaff. Like, they'll have, like, the equivalent of Skaven slaves, but probably on several tiers. Yeah. So, you have... you can, if you are banning one of the three. So, Ice couldn't ban same faction again, but in this situation, the Gents counter can. I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that how it works, Hadries? So basically, Ice Power is picking, he's picking Tomb Kings, Bretonnia, and Greenskins and banning Empire, right? So Imperator had already banned one of these factions earlier, Bretonnia, but he's allowed to ban them again because it's one of the three that Ice Power picked. This actually came into a rules question earlier in today's tournament, but I'm like 99% sure that's how it is. Yeah. Whereas Ice Power couldn't ban out his Empire again, because like if you're doing the 3-pick format and you just can't ban one of the three, what's the point of even you just have this impervious faction there. Yeah, correct. All right, I'm glad I got it, Hadris. Feel free to repick your 3 if you want. Cool. So Imperator can ban the same faction that he banned earlier because it's one of the 3 that was chosen for his viable picks. Yeah. Thank you, guys. So, Ice... Yeah, I think they get the picture. So we'll just let them kind of mull over that and do their repicks here if they need to. Yeah, correct, Ben the Barman. I think we got it right. Cool. Go team. Thank you, guys. Yeah, the pick and ban system's pretty good. I like it right now. I like it. I like it indeed. Thanks for sticking around, guys. It's been quite an adventure. Quite a fun stream. Here at the glorious tail end, we've had a lot of really intense matches today. Exactly, the Viking, yeah. You're just like, no, you never get to play Empire. Ice has not banned Empire yet today, so he's more than welcome to do that. But it might make him rethink his 3 factions here. Ice thinking about it. He's thinking about some big thinking as the Greenskin faction roster or faction tech tree has. So today is Wednesday, right? What do you guys all got planned for the weekend? Any fun stuff going on? I guess not. The damn Rona just keeps us all trapped in our pens. We're just all Skaven slaves. Yeah, we're 2-2 right now. This is a great series. I've really been enjoying it. Ice Power came out to such a nasty start. He really dominated the first 2 games. And then Odium Imperator looked like he was about to get crushed in the 3rd game too, but then he like swung it back with some really, really good Lizard play. And then here we are in game 5. Yeah, they're just kind of scheming over it. Nope, just double checked it. It's Vampire Count Mirror for no. Don't do that to me, dude. I would be so sad. I would be so sad. I think both of these guys want to win, and I don't think they feel like going to Las Vegas to win, where they just like pick a Vampire Mirror and whoever picks like the better Air Force or the better blob on the ground wins. Like, I think they want to try and like skill it out, right? There's got to be some psychology going on too, right? Because Ice was probably so confident, and then the reverse sweep, that can do a lot to your psyche. Whether it be in, you know, IRL sports or the old esports here, the gaming sports. Yeah, it's a big thing. Grant Van Dusen, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome, Grant. We'll give you the old Palpatine cackle to welcome you in. Painting some ghouls all weekend. They're not too hard to paint, right? The little crypt ghouls. Just kind of spray prime them, give them an old wash, and then do a little bit of dry brushing on the raised surfaces. Bam, you're golden. Yeah, one has already played vampires. So we can't get a mirror. Yep. Players are big thinking. Nerd sports. Yeah, it's pretty crazy to see like the juxtaposition of like nerd back in like probably like in its origin, right? Like, I don't know. You guys remember like, yeah, I don't know. If you ever like talk to your parents about it, like the word nerd wasn't like cool, you know? Like back in the day, like in the 80s and like maybe even early 90s, but like it became cool, right? Like nerd is not an insult now. It's like, oh yeah, you know, you see people being like, oh, I'm such a nerd, I love this, or like, yeah, I love nerdy stuff. It's crazy how that changed. I mean, it's good for sure, but it's yeah. Things change, man. The biggest concern. You guys just going on about the Vampire Count Mirror. That's like all chat can talk about. Here, I have an idea. How about we give them each 10 bloated corpses and 1 Luther Harkin, and they just have to fight. last bloat standing. Oh my god, what about that? What if we did do that? So you have Luther Harkin on foot, and each player has 10 bloats. Yeah, and it's like a duel. Yeah, this is interesting. There's all sorts of ridiculous formats we could do. Nerd is still an insult? Really? No, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah. I mean, I feel like being called a nerd isn't an insult. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents. Maybe some people find it offensive, but like for me, it's like if somebody called me a nerd, I'm just gonna laugh. Like I don't see that as an insult anymore. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just my perception. Yeah, geek is like the softer version of that for sure. Okay, we have someone in chat saying, Harabeck saying, plays D&D, you're a geek. Does math for fun, you're a nerd. I don't know. Big thinking, I know. That's a StarCraft Zerg vs. Zerg. Okay, my least favorite matchup to watch in Brood War is probably Terran vs. Terran. My least favorite matchup in StarCraft 2, I actually really disliked playing against Zerg. I just tended to struggle against them. Yeah. It's wild, man. We got Frostlight in chat saying, I am Franz, they will obey, bring me to my men, and a sandwich. Thank you for the donation, man. And, you know, I don't think we're going to see Empire because they got banned. Oh, no, he banned Dwarves instead. Okay. So we have no Empire, but we have Tomb Kings versus either Tomb Kings or Greenskins. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Yeah, Inquisitor Ignis, I hear you. It's kind of the same thing. Yeah. What's your hardest matchup? Dude, I haven't played much 9th edition, so I honestly have no idea. Like, I played like one 9th edition game, because then the Rona came. So honestly, I really don't know. Like, I haven't even played my new Death Guard army yet. I have the Codex, but I can't tell you. Wicked D is here. I'm a Protoss main. I don't know if that like makes me a bad person, but I played Protoss in StarCraft 2, Wings of Liberty, and I played Protoss in Brood War 2, and original StarCraft and all that stuff. All right. Oh my God, we might get a Tomb Kings mirror match. No, Greenskins versus Tomb Kings. Okay, so it's Greenskins versus Tomb Kings. So this matchup's interesting. I think it's fine. Either player can win it, to be honest. Hadri says, good, Impy. Defeat the Fae by banning her. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the donation, Frostlight. Appreciate that. Any good 40k book recommendations? I really liked the what is that? The Thousand Suns book was really good. It's just called Thousand Suns. I really like that one. The Black Legion series by Aaron Dembski Bowden is probably my favorite 40k literature. Like, it's with Iskandar, with the Thousand Sun sorcerer who like works for Abaddon. It's like, oh, it's so good. Yeah. Any hopes on improvements? I don't know. Yeah. I talked about it a little bit earlier, Jed like me, but yeah, I think we'll hopefully get a better ladder, and you know, that's really all I'm asking for here. Yeah. The Black Legion series is really good. I read that bad boy. You're a bad person. I watch Artosis stream StarCraft quite a bit, and like I love when he goes on rage rampages about Protoss. It just like makes me laugh so hard. The Artosis rage is magical. I have Fabius Bile on tabletop. He's mostly painted. I'm not done painting him yet, but I took a break from painting my Chaos Space Marines. But I have Fabius Bile. I have his new model. It's pretty cool. The Sword of Abaddon is your special name. Oh, there you go. Okay. I haven't read the Fabius Bile books, although Fabius Bile does appear in the Black Legion books. He makes, well, I don't want to spoil it, although it's been out for a while. I have no idea. Yeah. What other books I really like? Yeah, the Black Legion series I really like. I'm a Chaos guy. Like, I really like the Chaos books, so I enjoy those. I also enjoy the plight of like the everyday man, so I prefer to read like Imperial Guard literature compared to Space Marines. You know, that's just my 2 cents though. A better ladder, so better MMR. Some sort of a system that can like keep people from draw kiting and doing that kind of bullshit. Because matchmaking is really poor, right? You go in, you're brand new, you play against like freaking, you know, Felcon when he queues up, right? It's just like, it's just dumb. Yeah. And also a leaderboard that is updated more frequently and is less buggy. So I was like relatively highly ranked on the leaderboard at one point. And then I log in one morning and suddenly I have 0 wins and I'm ranked like 8,000. It just deleted all my shit. I have no idea why. Yeah, it was so stupid. Yeah. After that, I was like, okay, I don't care about leaderboard anymore. It's just like, yeah. I haven't read the Night Lord series yet. I do plan on it. Yeah. What are your thoughts on the 2 unknown Primarchs? Dude, I got nothing on that, bro. All I know is that my boy Morty is tearing it up on tabletop right now, and I'm very excited for that. Yeah. Yeah, the series with Nathaniel Garrow is really good as well. Yeah, that's quite good. I did read Lords of Silence. Lords of Silence is it's not like the most high like epic literature in 40k, but if you're a Death Guard fan, Lords of Silence is a really good book. Like if you like Death Guard, but if you're not like don't care for Death Guard, it's not really worth it in my opinion. But read Storm of Iron. Oh yeah, Horus Heresy. I'll check that out. That sounds fun. Guard versus Iron Warriors. Yeah, I know. I jokingly said that, Jay Phoenix. I was like, yeah, Creative Assembly should hire Anticity to make the ladder for them. Just fly him out to England, relocate him, pay him well, and he'll make the multiplayer experience good. I would be so down for that. Imperator's like putting the pressure here. He's like, hey man, I'm ready. Let's do it. I'll give them a little bit more time. They are taking their sweet moment here. Let's see, Mormons. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, but they need to have the leaderboards reset every month or every 2 months, because then players have an ambitious, like a goal. They see it, they go, and then if you're top ranked on the leaderboard, you get a Steam badge or an icon, or you unlock some sort of aesthetic reward. That'll be super fun. Like, imagine if the ladder was actually not a piece of crap, and then like all these like good players are fighting for a top spot at the end, like the excitement, like the people streaming while they're playing and trying to get that top spot. Yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Like, that would be really fun. Orcs are your favorite? Yeah, orcs are one of my my buddies who plays in my 40k league he got to the he got to the LVO grand finals or the top 8 with orcs and did really well at the last big 40k tournament. He's a really solid orc player. You hope he brings the wagons. Are you talking about like pump wagons? Oh my god. I think he's talking about pump wagons. Pump wagons are pretty bad. Honestly, after the mass changes, they got even worse. Yeah. Like, I don't want there to be any like actual functional rewards for doing well, but like giving people like a banner they can use or like a Steam icon they can unlock. Turn your fantasizing. I'm allowed to fantasize. Come on now. Enjoy it with me. We have to have some hope. We have to have some hope in before Total War Warhammer 3 becomes a mobile-only game. That would be pretty disastrous for sure. I would be so depressed. My livelihood would be just gone. Oh, God. Have you seen the Astartes series? Oh, yeah, it's so good. Yeah. Yeah, Snotling pump wagons are pretty sad, unfortunately. I know, everyone forgets about him, right? You just don't see him. They were like, before the match changes, they were tricky. Yes. $25 plus qualifying for a grand final with $300 to $500 prize. Yeah, there's a prize for every qualifier. Every qualifier has a $25 prize. And then the grand finals will probably have, the big championship will have like a $500 prize, give or take. So, yeah, there's certainly some prizes on the line here. Yeah. We have to have hope. Creative Assembly was hiring a multiplayer balance specialist. Yeah, I think I saw that job listing. They should have just hired like Felcon or something. You know, that would have been pretty neat. All right, I'm gonna ready up here. Do you know what you'll do after Warhammer 3 dries up? Yeah, so I've thought about that a lot because this is my full-time job, right? Couple things. I might, like, if there's any other big RTS game, like a real-time strategy in the vein of like StarCraft or like Warcraft 3, I will cover the hell out of that. That could be something I do. Aside from that, like, I'll continue covering Total War titles for sure. I'd love to work at a game company like in multiplayer design or balance at some point. I think that'd be fun, like way down the road. Or in production or, you know, like doing broadcasting work, like that type of thing. I don't know. Like, I'm pretty open, to be honest. Could always go back to like the job I did before, though I'd rather not, but I certainly would. Yeah, pump wagons, man. I can't think of like any matchup in which the pumps are good. Like nowadays, you'd think they'd be good against dwarves, but they just get like stuck in the infantry now with the mass changes, and they just die. It's like, yeah. Well, Warhammer 3 it's not going to dry up. It's going to run its course, right? Like it'll be popular for, you know, maybe what, 4 or 5 years, and then people might stop watching and playing, and you know, who knows? Who knows? Warhammer 3 will be forever. I hope so. But you know, Creative Assembly is probably going to do a Total War Warhammer 40k. I'd be willing to wager a significant amount of money on that they're going to do Total War Warhammer 40k. Like, if anybody wants to throw down, I would bet. Because that's going to happen. And at that point, like, I'll cover the hell out of that. We're good. It's going to happen. Like, how could they not do it? With the success of this title, this is like fantasy. Fantasy is like tickling the pickle, right? It's just tickling it. 40K is like just down in that whole pickle, right? Because in fantasy, you like didn't have as big of an audience as like 40K. If you do a 40K title, you're pulling in a massive audience outside of Total War. Yeah. So, you know, we'll see. That's just my opinion. All right, guys. So here we are. We do indeed have the greenskins for the Ice Power coming in with the dreaded quad Stone Troll. He's got 4 of those. He's got Bob, so the Black Orc Big Boss is going to be on foot, I think. It's hard to... Where the hell is he? Is he like inside this troll? He's literally standing inside the troll here. So we got him. We have Skarsnik as well, and it looks like on the flanks we do have some Spider Riders with some Forest Goblin Spider Riders as well. That is it for the Greenskin Army. Very heavily focused on the Stone Trolls. We'll see if they can get to Crumpin and do their thing. I'll bet you a Bitcoin on it. A Bitcoin? Aren't Bitcoins worth like 40 grand or something? Some crazy shit. We got Tomb Guard, and we do also have some more Tomb Guard on the flanks. We do also have Skeleton Archers as well. And in the back, we got Necropolis Knights with Halberds, and that is pretty much the whole party. So yeah, very much a tight formation with Elite Infantry, Skeleton Archers to focus down any big targets. Setcher the Imperishable with Cursed Blades and the Burning Blade or whatever he has can certainly do well against Trolls. And yeah, Nehekar Horsemen are a great counter-skirmishing unit. They're shielded, they're durable, they can trade well with Spider Riders, all that sort of good stuff. So, yeah, 40K is due a good game too. 40K gets like short-term games, like kind of one-off games. They don't really get like, yeah, Space Marine was good. Dawn of War, the original series, I've heard is quite good. But aside from that, it's kind of like most of their games are just like shitty cash grabs, which is nuts. So here it comes, Setcher the Imperishable charging in. Oh, nice Fanatics, though. Look at that. Ice Power launching them little gobbos in there. Really, really tearing through quite a bit. Actually going into the cavalry a little bit as well. But the AP Loonies, of course, getting massacred for Gork and or Mork. And now the Stone Trolls are going to be jumping on top of the Tomb Guard, whose backs are turned here. Going to be taking a righteous beating from those Stone Trolls. And yeah, the big Crumping Squad is in. Now, Stone Trolls are pretty durable against basic archers. They have missile resist, they have regeneration, so basic skeleton archers, unless all 3 of them focus one target, probably won't burn them down super quick. Now, in the backfield, we have Spider Riders preparing to kind of collapse. The Hag is pulled back, and right here we do have the Tomb Guard being circle beaten by Bob and Skarsnik, and the Necropolis Knights do get in there and do some nice damage against the Stone Trolls, but there is a kind of reserve of Spider Riders now pushing in. Oh, and they do get into the Archer line, so the Archers, more importantly, the Blessed Legion is temporarily shut down. However, Stone Trolls here are broken, being chased down by the Necrotech. Some tactical reserves here for Ice Power Total War certainly should be used to free up those Trolls, because if those Trolls get broken off, he could just straight up, lose the game, right? The other Trolls here get broken as well, and yeah, Aspect of the Dread Knight trying to save them. Pretty cool usage of the Lore of Death there from the Hag. But nonetheless, it's a pretty messy game for sure. Here we do have the Goblins and Stone Trolls beating away. Tomb Guard have taken some big damage for sure. Spider Riders engaged against Nehekar Horsemen in the back line. Relatively even fighting, but with the support of a little bit of DACA from these Forest Goblin Spider Rider Archers, it could actually go the way of the Greenskins. Now, the Sneaky Snake Knights going to be looking to get a rear charge on these Trolls, which is a very, very strong play. Skarsnik and Bob are on their way over, but Trolls, Stone Trolls especially, or Trolls in general, one of the best ways to deal with them is to break them and chase them off the battlefield. Now, these Trolls getting rear charged are hanging in there at 7 leadership. Might be able to turn around and give the business, but it looks like maybe a Spirit Leech going down? Yeah, on the Knights there, but more Stone Trolls coming in. All right, the reverse Crump is here. So Ice Power moving in with the Stone Trolls, getting a nice little surround here suddenly on the Necropolis Knights. But are these Trolls going to break? That really is a big deciding factor. Setcher the Imperishable coming in as well. Aspect of the Dread Knight being popped to keep these Trolls active, and it does give them basically immune to terror while that's there. But Setcher just absolutely pimp slapping a couple of those Trolls. Things are getting real, real messy for sure. Now back here, it looks like we do have a pick from the Greenskins. We do have the Necrotect being beaten on by the Trolls and Spider Riders. This is very, very strong here. If you can kill that Necrotect, you remove some healing and also a Chariot Piece. But looks like somehow, some way, the Necrotect was able to escape. Skarsnik and company and the Black Orc Big Boss and the Hag, the triple single entity squad, making their way through the Skeleton Archers. But it looks like a pretty damn even game, to be honest here. Maybe slightly Tomb King favored with the amount of efficiency they've had against the Trolls, and the fact that the Trolls have not been able to stay near Skarsnik as well as Bob, right? So they're not getting that immune to psychology. Though right here, they do get a very, very nice fight at a bad moon, which does give them an anti-large, letting them beat on the Necropolis Knights pretty well. But the Terror Route does come in because, again, without Bob, they don't have ITP. The Insane Troll Posse, as it is called here in this community. And back here, it looks like the Ushapti summon was used on top of the characters. A very, very strong play. Kind of locking Skarsnik in place and making sure he can't be impactful elsewhere on the battlefield. Trolls breaking once again. And the Tomb Kings still have a fair amount of infantry, which is certainly very concerning for the Greenskins. We have Tomb Guard here. We have Skeleton Spears here that are pretty numerous. And yeah, just loose infantry formations fighting all over the battlefield. But the Trolls keep coming back. I would have to say, Ice is doing a good job of rallying his Trolls, but I don't know if it's going to be enough with Cetra being super healthy. I would imagine Rampages are still on the table as well. Skarsnik, I think I saw one earlier, but it looks like an incantation of desiccation going down here. I believe that's what it's going to be. So yeah, lowering the melee attack there really will preserve the very, very tanky, sneaky snakes here. So there goes the Necropolis Knights, you know, holding their own, man. Doing it to it for, I don't know, what did Tomb Kings worship? They have all sorts of gods and things like that, right? Like Fa and, you know, etc., etc. Over here, we got the Black Orc Big Boss. Bob a little bit out in the open by himself. Certainly not what he wants to be doing. Bob is certainly a force multiplying character. Skarsnik, still trapped by those Ushapti summons, is finally able to escape, but he's wavering. He took a fair amount of damage, and Skarsnik does have a big HP pool, but he does not want to be surrounded by a bunch of anti-infantry monsters. And also Tomb Guard and, you know, other troopers there. So yeah, Skarsnik is certainly on the brink of breaking here. And if he breaks, that could be a pretty big disaster for the Greenskins. We'll see if he can kind of endure and hold his own while the Ushapti do disappear. So he does hold that. The Ushapti summon does disappear. Balance of power still looking pretty good for the old bony boys here, while the Necrotech is able to chase down the Trolls here. It's been a very scrappy game for sure, but in the end, Cetra has been so impactful this game, so have the Necropolis Knights, and the Stone Trolls have done a fair amount of damage. I guess they're still coming back. I mean, is there any AoE? We have Spirit Leech and we have Aspect of the Dread Knight, so there's no like Purple Sun or anything big that you could really nuke this big infantry blob with. Bob is going to be a little bit tough to kill. I mean, maybe if the Greenskins could capitalize and really finish off all this infantry here with like a big Zerg while Cetra is away on his kind of errands, but Cetra's on his way back, and as soon as Cetra gets back, he's going to be serving it up. He's going to go after that Skarsnik, run him over, and that is going to be quite nasty indeed. Here it comes. Cetra looking, going to be terror routing off those Spider Riders probably instantly. Yeah, they just break at the side of the mighty imperishable one. And Skarsnik at this point is just a desperation charge. He will 100% lose to Cetra here, but he does get Mither on him from the Hag, which maybe allows for a little bit of maneuverability from Skarsnik, but probably not. I mean, even still, yeah, he's only got 7 speed, so I suppose Skarsnik could run. But Aspect of the Dread Knight is down, giving him immune to psychology. I mean, I don't think there's enough RNG in this game for Cetra to lose to Skarsnik here. I mean, you know, stranger things have happened. Greenskins not doing terribly in some of these engagements here, but yeah, no way. No way. Not with all these infantry here, too. Skarsnik's at 32. He's holding pretty firm. But now that the Aspect of the Dread Knight is gone, he could perhaps get routed off here and run back to the hills to perhaps develop some more schemes. What are the players saying? Good luck, have fun, all that sort of good stuff. Good sportsmanship all around. And the Hag is trying to get out here, and you know, it's a nice play. If the Hag could come over here, Spirit Leech Cetra, help Skarsnik out in that fight, maybe so. Goblins getting in there into the back of these archers, at least shutting them down for now. But now, big boy Cetra going after the Hag, but you got to be careful. There is the dreaded Black Orc Big Boss and the Hag, both of whom hit pretty hard. Skarsnik, oh, wait, did he not bring fermented fungi? Oh no, why would you do that? Oh no, he didn't bring fermented fungi. That's why we haven't seen any rampages this game. Oh no. There were so many opportunities where he could have rampaged the Necropolis Knights into like a bad troll engagement, but we didn't see it. Okay, that's a little bit of a blunder for sure. Nonetheless, Cetra once again dueling Skarsnik. This would be a pretty ludicrous comeback. I mean, if Skarsnik could get really lucky and RNG out Cetra, which would be very unlikely, I mean, there would be a chance for the Greenskins to win, right? Like, Bob can take, like, so many infantry and really, really hold his own. Yeah, Skarsnik's getting worked on. Cetra is a bonus for his infantry character and very, very powerful in that Carmine War Sphinx. And with that, ODM Imperator with the reverse sweep coming in with 3 straight wins in a row. Congratulations to him, and also congratulations to Ice Power. I hope to see Ice Power again trying to qualify because, man, oh man, he's been to the Grand Finals twice and has been playing like an absolute champion. Coming off to a very hard 2-0 in the beginning. It looked like Imperator was down and out, but man, oh man, that reverse sweep was nasty. And with that, Imperator showing that having a really good range of factions, because this was something we saw in chat. Ice Power was saying that he's kind of run out of his best factions, whereas Imperator said, I'm relatively comfortable with every faction. So faction diversity and range really comes into play, right? So pretty crazy stuff indeed. Well played to these two gentlemen. Let us go ahead now and imbue the name in the Hall of Champions. So we go to the top 8. Let us go ahead and add in Imperator. Imperator, of course, has made it to the ECL Grand Finals several times. I think at least twice. So let's go ahead and add him. The reverse sweep, I know. Well played, Ice Power and Imperator, man. That was a great series between those two guys, and look forward to casting their games in again in the future. Both were good sports, good gentlemen, good ambassadors in the community. And now we can go ahead and get that going. Yes, yeah. There we go. GG, much comeback very well. I know. GG, well played. You see, I'm in the same boat as Ice. Like, I don't know how to play Greenskins against Tomb Kings very well. I'd have to like kind of do some research on that. But that was a serious series there. That was really, really fun. So well played to those two gentlemen. Let's go to the graph, and you can see here Imperator will be moving on as the champion for today's stream. Well played to those guys though, man. I'll double check values. No crazy values really. The Stone Trolls did okay. Some of them got close to paying for themselves. Nothing was really insane except the Necropolis Knights got like 2,000 value. So with that, thank you all for joining. Congratulations to ODM Imperator, Clan ODM claiming another skull for the throne. Ice Power Total War with a valiant effort, coming up 2-0, and then of course having a very, 3 very contested games after that. It was amazing. Yeah, no worries, Ice Power. Not a problem, man. Yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky. You played super well today, man. You hold your head up high. That was a really, really good tournament, and I'm very impressed. You did awesome. We haven't done Aranessa yet. Decent guy. Aranessa is in a different group, so we'll get there. Rest now, warriors of old. Yes, you guys get go get some food. Take it easy. Go to sleep. I'll be back with the stream. Am I streaming tomorrow? I don't think so. I think we'll take tomorrow off. I got some videos I want to do. But I'll probably be streaming sometime on the weekend, Saturday or Sunday. So, yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be working on the Tzeentch video, the speculation on what Tzeentch's faction will look like in Game 3. And, yeah, we'll go from there. We'll do it. It'll be fun. Thanks again. Congratulations to Imperator. We'll see you guys next time. Take care. Stay safe. Thanks again to the mods for helping. And big thanks to all of you guys for your donations today. From Frostlight, Bubba's Big Blast, Chief Big Sad, Christian Gonzalez, McGluttons, and Protocol. Thank you guys so much. And also, we have the new channel members. Let's go ahead and shout you guys out. Take a look at what's cracking. From Grant Van Dusen, Mata, Here Comes That Boy, Anubis, Exu, and Iceni Raider. Thanks, guys, for becoming members. It helps me out quite a bit. Thanks. Cheers. That's it. All right, guys. Well played to all. Yes, Viking. I'm sure we'll see you in the next one. I want to see some Greenskin play. Should be fun. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and you guys stay safe and take care.